Yo, 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 yo. What up, Giants? What's happening, everybody? You're welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast, Loose Talk. We got Steve
Yep, yep, yep.
Dede. My name is Osagie Alonga,
My name is Ayomide Tayo.
and
And I'm
that's
the
it.
lead. I'm the lead researcher.
I
Don't you
switched it
ever,
up already. I
don't you
switched it
ever,
up
don't you
already.
ever introduce me. Don't ever. You
I
like don't.
switched it
Why
up
you introduce?
already.
Why?
I
Why?
thought of
Like.
I thought of this thing this week, and I knew I was going to switch, and I did it. I switched it up. I
That's
switched it
unfair.
off. Yeah, I
Leave me
caught
to
you off
introduce
guard, right?
myself. Yeah, you don't know what I identify as. Maybe I'm no longer Steve Daly or something like. You can't intro me, bro. Let me intro myself now. Come
What
on.
is on your bank account?
That's what that matters.
Is a social construct.
What is
The thing bank account is a social construct. It's not. It doesn't represent who I really am. Do you get?
That's what you take most importantly. Your bank account. Forget any other thing. What is on your
What's
bank
up?
account? I do. I'm good. How you doing?
Not bad. Not bad. Having partly with code,
Battling with
running
cold and
nose. I've been seeing. Yeah, I'm
and your
sneezing a lot.
oh really? It's in the air,
Yeah,
man. It's in the air.
yeah, it's
Everybody
in the
has
air.
that
Yeah,
cold. Yeah.
Get your vitamin C up, bro.
yeah. That's true. That's true. I will. I
Yeah.
will.
So what kind of in terms of like things like vitamins, right? Do you guys go for like pills or do you guys go for like fruits that have those vitamins? So do you take more of like vitamin C capsule or like lick the vitamin C pills or do you like take more oranges?
Ordinarily, I do a lot of fruits. I eat fruits every day. Like I do fruits like morning and evening. So in the morning is either watermelon. In the evening is either maybe pineapples or oranges or stuff like that. Like almost every day. I think the only time I don't do that is maybe weekends because I just like eat. I just allow myself to like eat on weekends. Um, yeah, yeah. I can't remember the last time I took vitamin C tablets. I can't remember the last time. Yeah.
Oh, may I be taking vitamin C tablets for like 3 months, 4 months now. The
Oh
dissolvable
wow.
ones, and they've been doing good.
Mm,
I've not had any cold infection or anything like that at all.
Yeah.
Normally, I would
That
have
was
had by now with this rain, but
the
at
rain.
all,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I kind of do both. I don't think yeah, I kind of do both. So at times I might just take oranges and at times I might take like vitamin C, the dissolvable ones or the ones that you can lick.
Yeah.
Same thing with like vitamin A and whatever. But like yeah, fruits, banana, tangerine,
Yes.
oranges,
Yeah.
apple. Yeah.
What happened with me was I treated malaria about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are taking malaria drugs, like the guy usually tells me, please don't take fruits with it. So I think after I took that drugs, I kind of like didn't really take any fruits for like 2 weeks. I was just like I just left it alone. I didn't even remember to buy and stock up the fridge, my refrigerator with it. I think and then this sneezing and catarrh and cold just came in. So
Yeah,
yep,
you can't take vitamin C when you're taking malaria drugs.
malaria
It kind of
drugs. Yeah,
counters it.
yeah, it kind of counters it. Yeah, so
You can't.
that's why. Yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be
Mm.
fine. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. One thing I noticed, about men and women, and it was my wife that was explaining it to me, right? That people in health insurance explained it to her that for elderly people, between men and women, right? Women visit the hospital more and use their insurance more. And that's because any slight change in their body or if they feel any pain or whatever, right, they immediately visit the hospital. But
Yeah,
men don't until it's critical.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
At least for Nigeria. Why do you think that is?
I
Mm,
don't know. Using myself as an example, I've never used my HMO card, right?
same
I've
here.
never, but I know my family, like my family use it every time. They used to anyway. They used to use it like a lot. wifey and the kids, right? And now, I think there's some truth to it. I don't know. Maybe because we've not gotten like really some anything serious. The usual fever, malaria. You go take your drugs, and it's there written in the malaria drugs. After 2 days, if there's no improvement after 2 days, consult a doctor. And guess what happens? There's usually improvements after 2 days, before 2 days, well,
Oh
within
yeah,
2 days.
definitely.
So I don't really need to see my doctor. So I'm still in that. I'm still living within the recommended practice, right? So there's nothing off. There's nothing serious, right?
Yeah, yeah.
My head too. I don't joke with it. Anything happens, I go take. I like taking drugs. Like if something is happening, like my body is feeling off. I don't like manage it. I just go take a drug and I'm fine. Right. The only thing I really manage sometimes is maybe headache. I'm like, this is like a stress headache. If I sleep, I can sleep it off. And I usually do, I sleep it off. But if I sleep and it doesn't go off and I notice some changes in my body, I go to the pharmacy. I know it's self medication, but with the Nigerians now you can wing it. When malaria, we are very, very familiar with malaria. You know how malaria they do person now. And that's why
Hmm.
you take your drug. After 2 days and there's nothing, that's when you are supposed to visit the doctor. And within 3 days, I'm usually very okay. So, you know, most times I don't even finish my dosage before I notice that I'm fine. The week I told you I treated malaria, it was on a Friday. I'm like, bro, if this thing continues tomorrow, I'm not going to play football. You know what? I went, took the drugs Friday night, Saturday morning, I was so fine. I was so okay. Then after I came back, I forgot to take the drug. It was on Monday morning that I remember that, bro, you have this drug that you're supposed to be taking, and my body started behaving somehow again. That's why I started the dosage again and finished it. So yep.
I think with the access to like different levels of drugs, right? It's in Nigeria, it's now become somewhat unnecessary to visit the doctor. Let me explain. Like in other countries, they say, "Oh, I have to go and see my GP, I have to get a prescription to have access to some certain kind of drugs." Like in Nigeria, you can literally be treating anything from cancer to like literally anything. All you need to do is walk into the pharmacy and buy the drug directly, and you don't need any prescription, and they'll sell it to you. So self medication is very big here. Unlike other countries where you need a prescription from your doctor before the pharmacy will sell the drug to you.
Yeah, facts. I think it also shows like our healthcare system.
Hmm.
We don't really have a general healthcare system in Nigeria. Like you said, in Britain, you go to your GP. That is even necessary. Is almost mandatory. Like every year, you need to go for your appointment. There's Obamacare or Medicare in America, and yeah, so those things are not there for play. But in Nigeria, bro, even if you going to the hospital self, the bill you're going to even incur at the end of the day, you just weigh options. Let me just go to the nearest chemist. Pardon my change of accent. Nearest chemist and just get a few drugs, drug cocktail, take it and be okay. Instead of you going to
Hmm.
a doctor. If you go to a public doctor, a general hospital, you know what that's going to be at the end of the day. If you go to a private one, your account is going to fill it. So, bro, let me just take my small paracetamol, Panadol, this and that, and I'll be good. I'll wing it. Small like go by the side, and we'll sweat out the malaria.
I think it's the difference is just because of the type of illness that we have, right? Like malaria is not something that is very common in those words. It's very common here, and once you have like we've mastered it and we've known how to treat it, that's why we can just go to the chemist or the pharmacy nearby and buy drugs to treat it, right? And not necessarily go see a doctor. So I think it's just because of the peculiarity of the situation. The market is different. Their own healthcare, the way they think about health is different. Ours, we really know how to manage it because we get malaria a lot. There's a lot of mosquitoes in Nigeria, a lot in Africa. So we get affected easily and we can treat it easily because there are drugs, to buy and treat them. The drugs are really available in Nigeria because of how malaria, how popular malaria is or prevalent it is in Nigeria. You know.
Thank God for HMO. HMO has really helped like a lot of people in Nigeria, um, uh, especially like working class people, who work in companies and those companies pay for their health insurance. It's really helped a lot. It helped me. I remember, giving birth to my daughter from everything, and it was, went to a premium hospital, everything was paid for. The only thing I spent money on was like buying, necessary things and like posts delivery, and buying all the essentials. But like the actual me paying the hospital any amount of money, I didn't pay zilch, So health insurance is very big. And if you're listening to this and you don't have health insurance, maybe you don't work, you work for yourself, or you have a 9 to 5, or your company doesn't pay for HMO, please try and pay for health insurance because you can do this directly. There are companies like AXA Mansa that do this. You can also pay for health insurance for your parents, right? It's as the basic is as low as it's less than 100K a year, and they can visit the hospital anytime. They can do medical checkup, etc, etc. There are different plans. You can check it out. AXA Mansard is really good. This is not an ad. I'm just saying because I do it for my mom and my mom-in-law, and it has really helped. So all the times they had to see the doctor and all that. They had like access to it. Just take their health card, sort it out, and then every year you just pay, the yearly fee. And you can do that for like your driver, your house help, like and there are different plans. It's really is way better than they falling sick, then they have to be admitted, and you're paying up to half of what you would have paid for a yearly package, right? So it's good. One more thing I wanted to say, guys, is like once you hit your 30s, and you should be doing this from your 20s, but like once you hit your 30s, you should every year you should do like a yearly, sorry, you should do a yearly checkup or an annual checkup. Is very, very important. Once a year, full body checkup, so you can start preventing any, so they can discover any prevalent issues and you can start preventing it. Maybe you need to slow down on this amount of salt you're taking or amount of sugar you're taking. Maybe you need to increase some sort of vitamins, etc, etc. Anyhow, I'm just trying to say prevention is better than cure.
Yep. I think just generally speaking, any sort of insurance is really good. Just make it, just if you can afford it, insuring, like paying for insurance is really, really beneficial. Saves you a lot of headache and money. Car insurance, house insurance, like, property insurance, health insurance, HMO, stuff like that. If you can afford it, just do it. It's really, really beneficial.
Absolutely right. Talking about like any other kind of insurance, right? So my brother's car broke down on Third Milan Bridge, like the um what do you call that thing that controls the ignition? Um, what's this thing called? That that won't make the car start. Um, Steve, you know this thing now?
Kickstarter.
Yeah, the other one, alternator.
Okay.
It just had an issue, right? So
Sorry, I was speaking and I didn't know I was on mute. Yeah, it's an alternator.
around 11 ish at night. Whole place was dark. Third Milan, there was no lights.
Yeah.
Right? Third Milan now, no lights. There's no light. Like literally, Third
There's still no
Bro,
Milan
light.
Bridge.
Yeah.
bro,
Yeah.
Osage, let's leave the street light because it vexes me to a point of I want to rant on social media, but let's leave that alone. That there's no street lights in Lagos. In most significant parts in Lagos.
No street lights. They're
Yep.
just off.
They're just
So
off.
you know what happened? So he parks, right? Puts on the hazard lights, brings out the caution, the C caution, outside, and sets everything is up. Then he has to first take all his property out of the car because he's afraid that the Agbiros can come and rob him on the bridge. So he's holding everything and he's calling so on like a mechanic or someone to come get him. Right. Guess what happens? This delivery guy is on top speed, just rams directly behind the car.
Oh,
He just rams into the car. He didn't see nothing. So apparently the guy was very drunk. So he also didn't pay attention. He was just speeding and he just went boom, bro. The whole back was gone. I'll spare you the details, on how they picked him, went to the hospital, etc., etc. But like insurance covered the whole thing.
Oh,
That's
okay,
the good
that's
part
good.
of
Yeah,
insurance.
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, insurance covered the whole thing. So insurance really good, right? So while you guys are, popping another bottle of Azul or
Hmm,
downing another bottle of Macallan, like
hmm.
I'm not saying you shouldn't, partake in hedonism or the frivolities of life, you know. But please try and sort things out like health insurance and even life insurance, right? Life insurance, very important. If you're the breadwinner of your house, if you die today, what are you leaving for your family? So, and you don't need to tell people these things. See, Allianz is they are doing payouts of 100 million naira with 1 point something million naira annual subscription, life insurance, right? So, I know people don't like to think about these things or losing things, and that's the problem with insurance in Nigeria, right? Someone was once telling me that the biggest competitors of insurance, right, in Nigeria are the churches and mosques. Because every time you go there, they will tell you everything will be well, you will be okay, nothing will happen to you. So people don't actually, you know, like to pay for insurance because it's almost like you're paying for it, you're expecting some sort of doom, right? So just, I beg, please, as you they put money aside for bowling, just put money aside for insurance.
Not true, not true, not true,
Yeah.
not true.
All right, man. We weren't meant to start on this note, but how's everybody's week doing?
My
Good
week,
week.
yeah, my week has been
Enjoyed.
Gucci.
Good week. Lots of work. Put in. No distraction. Focused.
I
Just
mean,
kill it.
it's a good week for Steve, right? His club signed Declan Rice and
And
signed
Which of my
and
Timberland.
club?
signed Julian
Okay. You know I
And
and
support.
signed
Timberland.
Julian and
Yeah.
You know
signed
I mean.
Julian Timber.
You know I'm a City fan. I'm an Arsenal fan.
I
So
beg, I
before
beg, I
just
beg, I
say
beg.
one.
This is how polygamy starts. Choose one club.
It's good signing. Declan Rice. I'm very very excited for Declan Rice. I really believe in him. So let's just see what happens.
Steve, Steve, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I can
What
hear
you've do, what you've done to Manchester United record players. You know that I'll be
you.
keeping a tab. If he plays first game, no goals, no assist, he's in trouble.
No,
Just know
no, you
that.
can't.
No, no,
That's
no,
not
no,
how
no, no.
you.
No, no, that's how we do it. Oh. That's how we do
That's
it.
not how me
Please.
I do. You know me. That's not how me
That's
I do my own.
no, you
You
know
know,
concern
you
me. Oh.
know, you know me
You,
better now. You know me better than Osagie should be able to
you know concern
speak for
me.
me.
Super
You know,
admin, please. I'm going to
I'm
be a
trying to
troll.
be very. I try to be very objective when it comes to
Super
football.
admin, I'm about to be a troll this season. I don't
Do
care
you
whether
know?
Man U,
Do you know
Man U
that
doesn't win.
Anthony?
I
Do you
don't
know
care.
that Anthony? Do you know that towards the end of last season, I started liking Anthony one kind. I just started
Okay.
seeing something. I'm
Maybe
so
okay. Maybe at the end of
you
next
know.
season, I would like Declan Rice. So let's wait and see.
Where
I
Sancho,
can do without
nothing.
their policy, I
You know,
know.
understand.
Po, 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 po. Shout out to Native.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out. I think Arsenal. I've been saying this, right? I think Arsenal in the prime position to win like at least two trophies next season. They have everything. If Thomas Partey doesn't leave the club, they have one of the most complete squads in Europe, right? For every
Yeah,
position, they have someone who can play. I don't know how many players you have. Maybe it's up to 20. How many players they will register? But it seems like you have 23 players.
the
Like you
squad is stacked.
the
Yeah,
squad is stacked, man. You have
yeah,
Jorginho, Partey, Rice, Odegaard,
yeah.
right? Who else is in that midfield?
I miss Smith Rowe.
I mean, Smith Rowe. Come on, man. Like
Yeah,
the midfield is compact. So you even have players
yeah.
who are going to play the smaller leagues,
Smaller competitions.
the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. You
Yeah,
have those players. Now your defense, you have eight
chilling.
defenders.
Yeah,
Come on, and all eight defenders can start, right?
yeah.
If you mix them, you have Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu, Tierney, Zinchenko, Ben
And
White.
White. Yeah, that's true.
It's crazy. Have you guys sold Rob
It's a
Holding?
very good. I don't personally count him, but he's still there. But I don't count
So
him.
if you are playing, one cup and you're playing in Millwall or one club, you can even
Yeah, if I
put
just
him
play
there.
Rob Holding and just rest the rest. Yeah.
Then the forward is also stacked. Martinelli, Staka, Trossard, Jesus, Nketiah,
Yeah. And
Folarin
Nelson.
Balogun, Reece
And
Nelson.
Nelson and Folai. Folai has to go. Folai has to go 50M.
Do
And use
you
it to fund
understand?
another person. So, and you know what Arsenal is primed for next season. Now Arsenal can go and spend like next summer. They can spend another like big transfer on a big striker. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
That's the next level after this.
Yeah, because you don't need to buy anybody.
No, 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 no. You don't need to buy
Yeah.
anybody again. No, after
Sorry, I
everything.
forgot in the midfield. I forgot to mention.
And
No,
then
forgot to mention Pablo Vieira, and then your
Pablo Vera,
defense.
and then
Forgot to
yeah.
mention the Q guy,
Who's that?
Q or whatever his name
Oh,
is.
Kyo. That's true. That's true. That's true. Bola, I like him a lot.
That's
That's
a
true.
stack
Kyo.
squad. In fact, if I dare
It's called
say, it's a
stacks.
more
It's
stack
stacks.
squad than Man City right now,
Mm,
especially the
the only
midfield.
reason I can't say that
Especially the
because
midfield.
the city players have more experience and more battle. They are more battle tested in this sense. You understand what I'm saying? But I understand I get your point too. The
I would
Arsenal squad is
say
good.
right
It's
now,
good.
I would say defense line, City's defense line is like incredible, but like their
It's
midfield,
incredible. Yeah, the midfield is
you're right.
shaky,
They have
sha.
more. They have more.
They
This
have
guy
more
has left.
battle tested players.
Gundogan has left. KDB is how
Uh-huh.
old now? KDB is like 32
KDB is
now, right?
32 or so. Yeah, yeah.
They say Bernardo Silva might probably leave.
Leave. Yeah, he wants to
Mm,
leave.
So,
Yeah.
John Stones is just adapting. There's Rodri. I mean, it's fine. It's a
Wait,
good
wait,
Let's
mix.
see,
wait. Osage, please. Don't say John Stones is just adapting. John Stones has been he's a big boy in this
bro.
beg. If you know Sabi, no Sabi. No, no,
No, no.
no, 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 they start father.
This is John Stone's like breakout season really for since he joined City. He has really been out in and out. Like they've been trying to
Hmm.
figure him out.
See,
But this last season,
I
that FA
love
Cup
the,
was the best. That FA Cup final was the best John Stone game I've ever watched in my
I
life.
love all this leniency that you give City players. One day you give it to my own players in Jesus' name, but don't worry. When you're a champion, people can be very lenient with you. So I
That's
understand.
all. That's
I
it. When you're winning,
understand.
things are easier. You know
Because see,
now.
not the way Jack Grealish played last season, but because
No,
he's drunk
keep
and
quiet.
he
Keep
won
quiet.
three.
Don't say he didn't
I
play
beg,
anything.
No,
I
Don't
beg.
say
Grealish balls.
don't say he
Grealish
didn't do
balls.
anything. Don't go and cost. If you cost that, I might go crazy.
No Bailey
Don't cost
stats.
that.
Now
No,
Bolanle.
I
Moving on.
Grealish balls.
I
Moving on.
test.
Maybe only eye test. When I already do
I'm
that thing for
telling you.
football again, I hate that thing. Eye test.
No,
Nobody
IO
see
Grealish
is
some
balls.
of them use watch
Grealish
important.
before.
balls.
IO is important. It's
Uh,
important.
okay,
When you
don't
watch
worry.
person, you will know say the person they try.
May 15 will come now. We'll look at now May 15 because today is Saturday 15. May 15 we'll consider everything go align.
All right. Well, let's
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
All
But shout
right,
out to
good.
Odumodu
So
Black. Odumodu Black was a
No
winner in
man,
this
it's
anyway.
insane. Like this is something that hip hop will do, and I'll be saying
we'll
how
get to it.
more.
It's part of our
We'll
talking
get
points,
to it.
my,
We'll
my
get to
All
it.
G.
right,
We'll get to
cool,
it.
cool,
Yeah.
cool.
All right. So we asked Steve, Ayo, how was your week?
Oh, my week was Gucci. Thank God. Yeah, in the city of Lagos, nothing really happened. Just work. Yeah, I wasn't sick, so mashallah. It's all good.
Have you resumed visiting the gym?
No, not yet, because the gym is quite expensive. Uh, I noticed that whenever I pass the gym, the number of cars there are no longer the name number of cars. Like the cars don't reduce. A lot more people are running now. They are running in the morning. Unless everybody don't see say,
It's cardio.
it's cardio because the other one is big dough. Not so yeah. If let's say I'll go back to running. Let's do small, I beg. Make my gym no kill me.
Yeah, but I mean, when you say you were gymming, I was like, okay, beyond cardio, are you lifting? Are you
I was
doing anything
lifting. Oh.
lifting?
I was lifting.
Really?
I was doing everything, bro. I
I'd
did
like to see
everything.
muscles on you.
Oh, bro, it was getting crazy, man. It was getting crazy. I did it four times a week. I was there. Four
Four
times a week. I
times
was
a
there.
week is crazy.
I was there. 2 hours minimum, or 2 hours, 3 hours. Yeah.
Were you doing like morning and evening? Did you have sessions like that?
No, I think some days. I think there's only one day I did morning and evening, but most times it would be like around 4. I had to get there early. I like to get there early because a lot of people will be at the weight section trying to pull up weights and deadlift and everything. So I'll go around 4. So people are not finished from work and are not yet coming to the gym. So there won't be many people there. So I'll do like 4 to 7, sometimes 4 to 8. I had a trainer, and that guy was from Hellfire. They brought him from Hellfire. Yeah. So I used to do cardio on some days legs. Legs were the worst. The first day I did legs, I could not walk, bro. I had to climb the
Yeah, leg
stairs,
days are
and
crazy.
it was like, bro, who sent me this? Like at the end of the day, when we go and meet Jesus Christ, they're not gonna judge us by 6 packs. So. Yeah, but it's all good, Sha. It's all good. It was all good.
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. I mean, I like to, see some excitement. It's good to do something just different from what you've been doing
Oh
before,
yeah,
you know.
definitely. It was cool.
Yeah. And but like, how did it improve your mental health? You know, they say when you train and when you improve
Yeah.
your physical health, kind of helps your mental health. How did it help your mental health?
Oh yeah, you definitely be your mental health will be stronger because there's some days you don't just want to do carry that bloody thing, that bloody lift. You don't just want to do it, but it helps you go forward. It helps you break that mental because we all have mental barriers in our head where we say, "Oh, I'm tired," but most of the time it's just a block. So when you push through, it helps you grow stronger mentally. And also if you have like some people say that the gym is like you going to a therapist. If you have like
Mm-hmm.
any problem, just go there 3 hours, 4 hours, listen to music and just do your work. And you have a clear mind. You have a like almost you almost have a clear solution of how to solve that problem. So it's actually good. It's actually very, very good. Apart from the body, it helps your mind also. It trains your mind, which is also the key because they said most battles are fought or all battles are fought in the mind anyway. If you can win the battle in your mind, then the rest is easy.
Yeah. And for people who can't go to the gym, for one reason or the other, you guys can try the Nike Training Club app. It's really good for cardio, right? So they have different kind of exercises, and all you need is the rubber mats. You can always just buy the rubber mat, put it in front of your TV. You connect, so you use it on your phone, so you can just place your phone and watch they show you like all the trainings, and then they give you time to do the trainings and they walk you through it. So if you're a beginner, you can join um the beginners club, and then they take you from one point to the other. So you start with 5 minutes, then you go to 10 minutes, then you go to 15 minutes over a period of time. So that's really dope. And you can just connect it to your TV, do it every morning, boom, you're good to go. Nike Training Club app, you can check it out anywhere. It's really good for like cardio and all that. All
Yeah.
right, so that's dope. That's dope. My week was good too. Again, it's good to always have clarity on the purpose. I'm taking on some new adventures, so I'm very excited about them. And it's an investment into my future. So let's see how it goes. Hopefully, I'll come back here and give you guys the gist.
Correct.
All right, man. So let us start. What's that thing fella said? Let us.
Let us start what we have come to do.
I think he said in the room somewhere, Sha.
Oh yes, let us start what we have come to. Let us start what we have come to do in the room or something like that, Sha.
Yeah, quick one. Before we go into fan mail, did you guys visit the Book of Hove?
No, I'm not visiting. I just saw the pictures from Elliot Wilson to B Dot to Leniers, all those guys, sir. I probably
Yeah,
follow all the Rockefeller guys, so at some
I'll
point it
visit
was
it when I go to New York next month and next 2 months.
Biden know they give people Nigerians visa anymore.
No, 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 don't worry. I'm special now. I'm a
Okay.
special person, bro. Don't
All
worry.
right. All right.
who says he's not received his visa already? You're talking to SDC here.
Now
You
so
no, no,
and you see
no. I already look me through theater cutting.
the Lagos. They follow someone who they drag traffic light violation.
Now,
Okay.
I won't run leave them now. I
All
don't try
right.
to dey follow them drag this thing.
Ayo, let me tell you something. The moment Steve gets a visa, the next day is out. In
Okay.
fact, as they are bringing, whether they are sending the visa to him via DHL or UPS,
He go meet
or
them
he's
there.
going to pick it up from there, is airport straight.
He will tell DHL, don't bring it to my house. I'll come and meet you in your office. Don't worry. Don't bother yourself. I have fuel.
You can pick the option of delivery, or I mean, some they compulsorily they have to deliver, but some they pick the option of delivery, or you go and pick it up.
Oh, for real?
Still will say,
They, oh, I
yeah,
didn't know
still will
that.
say, I'm picking up, and from there, it's heading straight to MMA,
MMA.
MMA one.
MMA, we don't get you don't get light again. Abi. You know what they say? They doesn't have light or some shit. They stole some shit in MMA.
They stole the lights.
Seven floor runway lights.
You know this is still
Ha!
runway
This
lights.
country
No, my problem is, how do you access the runway? Like, how did you get to the runway? Did you pass the bush?
is obviously them now.
Now
Them,
man, no
them
man
now.
now.
It's an
Now
inside
man, no
job
man
now.
now.
That's what they said in that story too. They said they arrested officials within that
See that
organization.
whole
For that's for
aviation. That whole airport
That's fun, and
is
it was. I heard it was just recently. I heard as a lead researcher, right?
a
I heard that I heard that recently Fan took the management of runway lights from NEMA. NEMA is the airspace management, right? That they took
Mhm.
it from them. NEMA is very, very efficient. Like it's one of the most efficient agencies in this country. They say Fan took the management of the runway lights, runway for floodlights from them, and now this has just happened again.
Hmm.
You know, Fan has a lot of like answering, like a lot of explaining to do over what just happened because nobody can just the the voltage of a runway light, the voltage alone is very, very, very high. Then the way they screw to the floor stop, like it's not something anyone can just go and steal. You know, so it was obviously an inside job, and hopefully they just do that investigation thoroughly and you know fish out all the criminals and sack them and arrest them. Because you can't be
Okay,
playing
so
human like lives. Like you can't be playing with lives like that. No, like these things are so just critical. Nigerians are wicked. Ah, man.
they don't send. They don't send. Anyways, from the Lagos Airport runway all the way to the Brooklyn Public Library, Jay Z exhibited. There was a Jay Z exhibit that took over the Brooklyn Public Library. Elaborate summer exhibition. Had like his lyrics written all over the Brooklyn Public Library outside the walls, and then inside there were different showcases of Jay-Z's career over like last 30 years, right? From his albums, they recreated the baseline studios, in the library. You had like paintings, all his magazine covers. Bro, it's if you're a Jay-Z head, right? If you're a big Hove head, you would have loved to be there. Just looking at the pictures alone and all that, it was an amazing thing to see. And for me, it's like this guy has been doing this since 1996. It just shows how far. It shows. I think the key thing for me there was documentation. Documentation is very important. And you don't need to be like a big artist. You don't even need to be an artist. You can just be your person, right? And the more you document, right, years later you get to appreciate it, from books you've written, handwritten notes, to short video clips. I was just thinking about it. Look at all the time we're at Pulse, right? I wish I had like more footage that I could replay or share
Of
with
that
you guys.
era. Yeah.
Yeah, look at the day we were in the group, and we have a group with ex Pulse guys, right? And we were reliving the moments by just sharing pictures. I was just sharing all the pictures I had taken during that period, and it was very surreal for us because this was like what 6 years, 7 years ago.
yeah.
And imagine if we had like video footage where we were interviewing people and people were talking and talking about their dreams and hopes. It would have been great. So documentation is very important. So you do it with your kids. Record a podcast with your kids. Record a podcast with your friends. Record a podcast with your parents. Do stuff like that. It's years later you get to appreciate those things, not now. So that's one thing I learned from that exhibition at the Brooklyn Public Library.
Mm. Actually, it's dope. I saw the pictures. I saw the memorabilia. Well, it was fantastic. Jay Z is like this icon that is larger than life, and it's just great to see how far he's come throughout pop culture. And yeah, Beyonce was also there. She made like a sneak appearance. Shout out to Miss B.
Yeah, everybody was there, man. Anyways, let's get into fan mail. We have this from Badmos. Good day, Loose Dog Giants. I wrote in a while about starting a podcast. When I wrote this, I was in Port Harcourt working on a minimum wage paying job I didn't see a future in. I quit at the end of last month and now I'm back in Lagos. My problem now is my dad wants me to get another job and abandon the idea I have and have always wanted to do. To him, there's no way I can start something like this if I don't have any savings, which is impossible, or which was impossible based on where I'm coming from. I don't know how to convince him that it is what I always wanted to do, something he knows already and has tried to shut down multiple times. Talk less of even asking him for money for anything at this point. Thanks in advance. All right, so who wants to take this? Fellow creative, AOT2.
We're all creatives here at the end of the day. Bro, just go ahead and do your dreams, man. Obviously, your father is coming from a place of concern. He might not just be saying it in the best way or the same manner. But from what you said, you change jobs. Yeah, okay, you're now back in Lagos at the end of the day. Your father wants to abandon that job and blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, it's your dream, so you can get a steady 9 to 5, but also chase your creative endeavors. Because at the end of the day, you're the one living this life, not your father. You don't want to be 70, you don't want to be 80 years old, and you'll not be lying on your deathbed full of regrets. Just go ahead and do what you want to do. A lot of people you see having creative endeavors started off, juggling a few things here and there. We know Nigeria that you just jumping headfirst into a creative line or creative work without, financial, how will I put it now, soft landing doesn't make sense. But you try your best. And when it now looks as if you're beginning to have a career here, you switch, but you have to just go for it at the end of the day. But it doesn't mean you have to be full hardy and not just go 100%. Strategize, think of how money will come in, think of how money will go out, how you make money. Like in the next 3, 4 years, how would this have been able? How would they have generated income from this and able to impact where you want to impact? So you have to think about everything 360. But they don't allow your dreams die. You have to start it one day at a time. It doesn't have to be the biggest example of what you have in your mind. But if you can start with the basic and you can be consistent, it's all fine.
Very well said. Very well said, Ayo. Steve, do you have any comments?
I agree with my good brother AAT2.
Steve did not listen to this one.
I did.
Okay, my own feedback is, see, there are two ways, and Ayo raised 2 points. First point is you need money. Even if you want to pursue your dream, right, you need money. So, how do you want to fund your dream? And you've talked about this. That probably doesn't want to give you the money, right? And I don't know how old you are, but at some point, you have to start thinking for yourself and you have to start doing stuff for yourself. I don't know the background, I don't know the relationship. But if it's not giving you money and you really want to pursue a dream, then how are you going to make money? It's the same thing I tell like artists who don't have like funding and everything. If you don't have funding, then okay, go and get a fucking 9 to 5. I tell them all the time. I'm a rapper. I'm looking for. Nobody's going to give you a big break. Go get a 9 to 5, then take the money from your 9 to 5 to fund your dream. So it's the same approach that you have to take here, right? And you said the minimum wage paying job you did couldn't probably get you that. So you have to get another job which is high paying. How do you get a high paying job? You have to have the necessary skill set for you to get high paying. You don't have the skill set, you need to go get the skill set, right? So everything is a plan. And you have to then put this plan into a timeline and then figure out I have 1 year to start, what I want to do. But I need 365 of 12 months to achieve that because I need to raise the funds. So that's the first way to think about it. Um, yeah, that's the first way to think about it. And for me, like that's it basically. But like I said as well, if it's something you really want to do and um you have that strong conviction, then you can't you have to do it. And we've all been there, trust me. We've all been there. We all had dreams and all that, but we all had to go get 9 to 5s to pursue our dreams. The mere fact we can do this now, right, is because we had to go and acquire you know the financial means to be able to do what we are doing, to do this podcast, and you guys know our journey, how we stopped and started again and all that. So it's still part of it, my brother. And last thing is that you have to be your own man at the end of the day. I say this to everybody, right? And I'm sure your dad has the best intentions for you, so, and and all that. But when you are on your dying bed going, it would not be, oh, my dad, my mom, my uncle. It will be you. At the end of the day, people are going to leave you. You would be your own man, and so that responsibility is hinged upon you. At the end of the day, so I hope this our advice helps. Okay, another mail from anonymous. I got to know about loose talk from the Terms and Conditions podcast. Shout out to Terms and Conditions. Although it was too late to get previous episodes, I consoled myself with the fact that I did not know you guys before. I was listening to the lead researcher episode, and I just want to say that I am one person that did not notice that Twitter had a limit on tweets we could view. I'm also one person that did not notice when any social media app is down. I just read I just read with my keyboard app, or I read my Bible, or I just turn off my phone. I usually find out when it's back to normal, and then I will be like, whoa, where was I? An interesting thing is that I am a student of the University of Benin, and this is my first ever meal. I'm sorry if it did not come out well. Oh, it did. Till I mail again. Peace. Let me just tell you,
Man, bro,
Anonymous, you are
you've
enjoying
you
life.
you have hacked it.
You have hacked it.
Bro, let me tell you something. You've hacked it. Like, so I was doing I'm doing this branding thing for someone, right?
Yeah.
So I was just doing like an assessment of their social media live, their social media profile, and all that. Then I went to Google them, was looking through their media, like their media profile and media presence. So I was reading this story about how the person apparently finished first class in school. So when the person finished first class in school, the person did an interview with the newspaper and the thing was online, right? So I read it and the person was talking about that they asked the person like, how did you do it? He said the only thing that he did, right, was that he stayed off social media all through his university, all through his university. That's how he got first class. He said he didn't do anything special. He just stayed off social media. That afforded him more time to read his books and come out first class. And I'm like, this is a life hack. Just knowing staying off social media is a life hack. Especially if he doesn't pay you. Like if you don't have anything to do, if he doesn't contribute to what you do on a daily basis, is a real life hack. My brother, you don't hack life. Continue to be on that path and
Shout out to
you'll be
my
fine.
shout
You'll
out
be
to my
fine.
brother. Inside that avian, another avian day inside. Obviously, you've cracked the matrix, and like what Steve said,
You've
if
cracked it, yeah.
social media doesn't really pay you, then you should consume it. How will I call it now? With caution at the back, with a caution at the back of your mind.
Yeah.
I told myself that look, all this time you're looking at what TikTok, you can use to create content, and I started creating
Mm-hmm.
content on my own TikTok channel now. So
Yeah.
it's like you have in this life you have to give more than you consume, or else you become a
You
zombie,
have
become a
to.
slave. Your mind
Yeah.
now becomes wishy washy at the end of the day. So shout out to you, and also shout out to you for concentrating because the war zone. I mean, sorry, the university you're in is not.
No, don't go there, don't go
Is
there. Don't do that.
what
Don't
did I
do that,
do?
don't do that, don't
What
do
did I
that.
do?
Don't do
That
that.
what did I do?
Don't do that, don't do that.
Shout out to university is
Living in a war zone.
is a very active university. God bless you, my brother.
Hands
you know,
up, don't shoot.
my guy, you have hacked
Hands
life.
up,
Continue on that
don't
path.
Yeah.
shoot.
You'll
Speaking
be
of
fine.
sorry, speaking of university, shout out to Lasso for those who know.
Okay, you'll be
Shout out
fine.
to Lasso for what?
You are not okay. Osage is not in the
For
mix.
trying to beat artists off the
No,
stage.
yeah, people thought Lasso are gone.
I is encouraging bad behavior.
People
They
thought
said,
Lasso. No, I'm not encouraging it actually because I don't understand why you're doing that. These guys are your graduates, so
I I have a different
why you
take on
messing up?
that though.
Why
they
you
said,
messing up?
they said, they said a certain artist did less than intended.
Yeah, I don't know why you're saying it because everybody knows that lyric, that line already.
I can
Yeah,
do more than intended. You
well,
get, they said the artist did less than intended.
it's just crazy how
That's
your student, your graduates will come. I want to give you guys a nice time and you behave like this. Come on.
that was crazy actually.
Yeah. Shout out to Pocolito.
That was crazy. That was crazy. So shout out to Anonymous. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Like, the guy said you've hacked it. Yes, Steve. Once you're not seeing all these things, the app, it means you're not addicted. So you're a civilian, you're a casual user. Please stay like that. Some
So,
of us are.
can I ask this guy a question?
Yes.
One of the reasons why I was very, very enthusiastic when you asked about my week was just because I had one of those weeks where like I didn't have any like nothing distracted me from like achieving what I wanted to achieve. Like I was like super laser focused and I
Hmm.
achieved all my goals, right? So like it really made me happy and to say and made me realize the kind of like the potential, like potentially what I can achieve if you can just be like focused. And that's just how life is. For you to be successful, you just have to be like focused, right? Jimmy Iovine said this in his documentary with Dr. Dre and said that, do you know why horse races are always blindfolded? So that they don't see what's in front of them. So that
Hmm.
they just be on their own path,
I need
just
to watch that
going and going
documentary.
and
They don't
going
see what's beside them.
beside them. They don't see what's beside them. Like nothing distracts them, you know. And that's how we should like really, really approach life. Like just be laser focused on your goals. When you that's the first hack. Once you do that, bro. And social media, what's social media? Social media is like the biggest distraction ever, you know. So, bro,
There's a disillusion or delusion rather around consuming enough things to stay in the trend, to stay in the know. All that shit is
yeah,
bullshit. You don't need it.
FOMO,
You don't
yeah,
need it. Oh, I need to know what's
nothing. You're not
happening.
missing out on
I used
anything.
to deceive myself. I need to know what's
Yep,
happening. I need to
yep.
know. Okay, you don't. What you need to do is focus on what you've come to do. Right? Focus, laser focus, and complete your 10,000 hours
Thank you.
of anything you want to become a master at.
Do you
Every
know
other
Osage?
thing would work.
Yeah,
The universe will bring every other thing to your doorstep. But that, oh, I need to know what's this and that. No, 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 no. You don't.
yeah.
If
Do
you're
you know?
looking for a resource, that's
Yeah,
fine. Like Twitter is a great
yeah.
resource too. Then
Exactly.
again,
It is actually.
you know, curate your timeline.
Yeah.
Curate your timeline to the point where you go in, right? If you are, you know, so if you, it depends on kind of if you're studying like data analysis now, right? There are like some you know, Twitter accounts that's like Data Science Dojo, some Twitter accounts that just give you those information. Then go there, look for it, and leave. But the app sucks you in and starts giving you so much bullshit before you know it, you're on pages you don't want to be on all that. So at the end of the day, right, you don't need most of this information that you think you need to be in the know. Okay, all the things you learned this week on social media, you read about, all the stories, how did it improve your life, your
Nothing.
lifestyle, your mental health, right? How did you upskill? Nothing. So that feeling you had this week, Steve, I know what that feeling is, right? If it's like you completed a course and got a certification,
Yeah.
that's the feeling,
So,
right?
yeah. Do you know that from our habits as like guys journalists before, like media monitoring, right? Where
Mhm.
you always try, like you always want to know what's happening. And that's made us to form this habit of always trying to catch up with everything that's happened
Mhm.
when we're not with our phone. So I noticed that I wake up in the morning, I'll do like some tasks, maybe like do some exercises, then take my bath and go to my my workstation. And I'm like, oh, what has happened since the last time I had my phone? Bro, I noticed that I used to spend like an hour, 2 hours just scrolling through Instagram,
Yeah.
scrolling through like Shade Room, Instablog Ninja, and other platforms,
Let
going
me
to
catch up.
Twitter handles that they do gossip, trying to see what was happening on Twitter. Maybe there's a drama on Twitter. I'm trying to see the origin of the drama, trying to see these things. Bro, I did these things for like years, especially like for like months, especially after I left the media, right? So when I was in the media, it wasn't a big issue because it's also tied to my work, right? So it wasn't much of an issue, right? It wasn't much of of a distraction. It was still part of the work. But when I left the media, I noticed that like I was spending 6 months, 7 months still doing this thing. One day I sat down and asked myself, why am I spending time? Bro, you know what happens now? Even if I left, even if I've not been in my phone for like 20 hours, once I pick up my phone, the things that happen in that 20 hours, I don't care about them. Like I don't need to go back to check or to no. I just move on with
Just
my
pick up
life.
from there. You
I
pick up
just
from
pick
there.
up from where I am, bro, and that has massively improved my life. It has
Hmm.
improved my education, the
Hmm.
things I consume, what I read, what I watch, my tax, like everything. My like it has improved my life 100%. You know, so that's it.
Yeah, I'll just go to what's this guy's name? It's not Ashiwa Larry or who on Twitter, the guy that does the recap.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
a
it's
guy
that
that
guy.
does recap on Twitter.
Yeah.
Just go there and read the recap of everything that happened. Honestly. So I get first things first, I don't even have like so I'm not addicted to platforms like Instagram. I don't have TikTok on my phone. Never had TikTok on
My
my
problem is
phone.
Twitter. That's my problem.
I don't have Twitter on my phone. So, first of all, that's it. It's only when I open my laptop, right? And problem is I'm on my laptop almost all the time, you know. But I don't have Twitter on my phone. So it means when I go to the restroom, I'm not opening Twitter. I have other things I open. And try it, guys. If you're listening, if you think you're addicted to social media, take Twitter off your phone or Instagram. you will find other interesting things to do on your phone. Or guess what? You don't need to hold your phone at all. You get back to what you're doing. Try 1 week, especially if you think you're not addicted to social media, take the app off and see how you are struggling with withdrawal symptoms. But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Anonymous again.
So the question I wanted to ask our anonymous guy is that so you've hacked Twitter. I hope you've been able to hack women the same way. Just letting you know, because that's the real Evian test. After the social media, that's the final one. That's the final boss.
Woman is the final
It's
boss.
the final boss, my guy.
You have to
Yeah,
be able
brother.
to.
The most successful people in the world, they didn't hack women. No.
Women hacked them.
Women hacked.
God day,
Let me
God
tell
day.
you, they are what they call it. You can't hack it. Oh, they are unhackable.
You manage it or you run.
Y- You're unhackable. It's those kind of things that you just live with.
Yeah, true that.
Do you understand? You just live it and you just manage it. You just keep managing it till you die. I don't see how you want to hack women. Anyways, this is from Fola. This is my first fan mail. Great work, guys. I enjoy listening to your show every week. You all are doing amazing work. I disagree with Steve and the fan mail from the last episode that said we are spoiled for complaining about Twitter's monetization policies. The premise that we are using the app for free, therefore we can't complain, is false. We are paying for it with our data. They make a lot of they make a lot from using our data to sell targeted ads, which is fair. Elon Musk made a poor business deal by overhauling Twitter at 40 billion, and now he's desperate to avoid making a loss. Hence the series of bad and impractical decisions. What's your take on the US on the headies being hosted in the US? FYI, AOT2 is the true lead researcher. He always comes up with excellent references
No,
and
no, no, no,
context
no, no,
for.
no, no.
Can
My
I
I
brother,
finish
disagree.
reading the fan mail? Can
No,
I
no,
can
no, no. You can't do
can
that.
I
Now. You can't take my
my,
title
my
now.
brother, I'm just
can
an
I
Title that I
intern.
finish?
fought for.
My
Something.
brother,
No, no, no.
sorry, I'm
This
just an
is
intern.
ridiculous. This is preposterous. Like I can't
Sorry,
Can
accept
I
this.
sorry,
In
I'm
what
just
can
an
I
intern.
in I can't do this, man. I can't. I'm not accepting this. I'm not accepting this.
can I
This,
finish reading the fan mail?
if you want to
Thank you. After you rudely interrupted me. In fact, apologize to the giants, to the listeners. Please apologize to every
apologize,
giant
you people
listening.
should be apologizing to me for trying to
Are you
hijack my
going to
title,
are you going
my
to apologize to
God-given
every giant
title.
listening right now? Are you going to apologize?
Who is the Osage? Who's the lead researcher on this board?
I asked you a
Say it.
question.
You
Why are
say
you
it.
answering why are you answering my
Who
question
is the
with a
lead
question?
researcher? Why would somebody come to try and hijack my own name, like something I really worked for? Come on, man.
Let me finish it. FYI, AOT2 is the true lead researcher. He always comes up with excellent references and context for most situations. Thank you very much, Fola. Let's start with the guy has asked you a question. He said he disagrees with your take on Twitter's monetization policies.
Paula,
Respond.
me and you the quarrel anyway, so I'm not talking to you. So the rest of the guys can talk to you. Me, I don't dey vex. So me, anybody don't talk to me again. Paula,
Oh my god.
Ayo, answer your guy now. She is your guy. You
Uh,
are the lead researcher.
yeah, you are the tech, you are the tech bro.
You are her lead researcher. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, now
you are the tech,
answer.
you are the tech bro, my guy. So don't worry.
Nope.
I'm not the tech
I
bro.
know. I'm not speaking to her. I don't vex.
How do you know
You
it's
You
know
a
don't
how
know if
she.
guy?
it's a
You know
her or
how
him.
she.
How do you know it's a her? It can
You
be
are,
a him.
you
Fola
are
is
presuming, you
unisex.
are assuming somebody's gender, Steve. In 2023. Okay. This
Hmm.
Canada where you all go, you never start yet. You
Something
never
when
start.
something when supposed to talk say I disagree with day.
With they. Well, I disagree with them. I beg, I beg.
Oh god, I disagree with them. Sorry, I beg. Be safe, I don't make mistake.
Yeah, there's room to disagree. Now you can disagree that he has not that you're not spoiled, that you that you have every right to still want to use Twitter for free. I still have the right to disagree with you, so it's fine. I think otherwise, so there's no problem at all.
I mean, I see the points, right? They use our
Yeah,
data, take it, then they serve us targeted ads, which is selling.
yeah,
Like that's the whole point, right? That's why the platform is free. And they tell you like for apps, right? If you're not
Yeah.
paying for it, then you are the product.
Yeah, you're
So
the one they are
some
selling.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. But you saw Twitter did a lot of payouts to creators this week.
One guy bought a Tesla of his own, according to what he said. Though. So shout out to Elon Musk for doing that one. That's a game changer, sha.
Is there anything to the thing to that rumor going around that he most of the influencers he paid were like far right influencers?
No,
Is there anything
this
to
one he
it?
paid was a black, like all these black influencers, like
Oh,
all
okay.
this black creation, black culture creating.
All right, I
Yeah, so
get
I
you.
don't know about that one. You know, that's normal Yankee jargon stock. They must always talk binary, whether left or right. Yeah, it's the wahala.
Yeah, but people were getting checks up to $35,000
Yeah,
and all that.
yeah.
I didn't see any Nigerians get checks though.
With all the noise you people are making, go and collect your check from Guinness Book or Records now. It's not, it's not where you people what have you packaged to. You noise
So
makers.
I didn't see Nigerians get checks because I mean it's a bit tricky, right? So the ad rates, the CPM rates here in this region of the world is very low. So it means the payouts will also be very low. So I don't even know if any Nigerians or Nigerian influencers got any checks.
No, I don't
I
think
mean,
so.
they run ads here, but the CPM rates are very, very low. So it's
Yeah,
just like
yeah,
YouTube, right? If people are
yeah.
watching your videos from like third world country, you're probably not getting a lot of. So you might get like 2 million views, and from 2 million views, you get less than 200,000 naira. But those same 2 million views, they come from like the US. You're
Hmm.
getting like sizable amount
What
of money.
why what determines the why is that this difference?
It's basically the market and how much people are paying for those ads.
Yeah. But
Do you understand?
I think if you do tech, there's somebody explained. I think it was Fisayo Fosudo or Taya. I know that was
I don't
saying it.
understand it. I'll go and read up more on it.
He
I
was,
understand what you're saying. I know this thing that you're saying, but I've always wondered why. Like the determining factor for the difference in
It's
cost.
basically the GDP of the country and how much people are willing to pay for those
How does
ads.
it okay, okay. I think
Do you get?
okay, okay, okay. Explain again.
I will send you an explainer so you can
Okay,
you
please do.
can
All right.
yeah.
sorry, I think it was Fisayo that said it or Taya. No, he said if you
Mhm.
do comedy now, you're not going to get much money. But if you do something like tech or real estate, your money will be higher than that of somebody who does like skits. I don't know how you explain it. I'll try and look for that video if I can find it. So like 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing I do know is like location based, right?
Oh yeah,
And I
that one
didn't
is
know
true.
this before.
Yeah, sure. That
Yeah,
one day. That one
that
day.
one
Yeah,
did.
sure, sure. We know that. We know that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's that part. Then he also says, "What's your take on the Headies being hosted in the US?" I
Ooh
mean,
la
this
la.
happened last year already, right?
I like it.
Afrobeats to the world.
Yeah,
It's the content is Africa, the market is the diaspora. So everybody's
definitely.
just reacting to that, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like one of the podcasts on Global Village. 60 up to 60% of the viewers of the listeners, right, are
Mm-hmm.
listening from the UK, US, and Canada. So it
Where they
really
just send
makes
us check.
sense to create more content for them and then get advertisers who are or brands who are willing to connect to the diasporan audience. And why do people want to connect so much to the diasporan audience? Is because they have like a stronger buying power. They have they have deeper pockets than people in Africa. That's it. Simple.
Yeah.
So taking the headies to the US is to connect with a market that has more money and can spend more money.
Yeah.
So for the smooth promotions and the organizers of the headies, right? For every amount of money they can make from Nigerians with brands trying to target Nigerians, they can also collect that money in dollars with brands trying to target diaspora. So it only makes sense for them to move it, just like every other thing. I mean, it's sad,
Yeah.
like like reality of things, right? You really want everything here, and you want everybody coming here, right? But sorry, the market does not respect your feelings.
Yeah,
The
man.
only thing, yeah.
The market is the market at the end of the day, my guy. There's so much the Nigerian music industry can hold. It's very limited, and this is why our artists also perform majority of like in 12 months they'll be abroad 9 months. They only come your December, take out the small cash you guys have, and they are back on the road again collecting their dollars. It's the same with our football. It's the same with our crude oil. At the end of the day, we do not have the structures to go international, create a global standard industry, and that's a fact.
So everything is just being exported.
Nigeria is an export country. Your oil, the only thing we're not able to do well is cinema, but your oil, your music, your football, out the door.
Damn.
Yeah, damn.
In terms of talents,
We don't
that's
know how
what
to
I'm
harness
saying.
talent in this country properly. That's
Yeah, sure, sure.
the bottom line of the whole wala.
Yeah, they have to talents have to leave the country to thrive. Yeah,
Yeah.
Speaking about talent, somebody has not been using his talent for about 2 years now, Benjamin Mendy, because he has been involved in a rape case. And he's been, since he was arrested, arraigned in court, and he's been, going to court. But last week or this week, all charges, he beat all charges. I think there were 10 different charges, and he beat
Crazy.
all 10. Yeah, in court. And of course, the reaction has been very, very crazy, you know. And I'd like to ask you guys, right? So he has been acquitted, right, of all charges.
Yes, he has.
Um, but in the court of public opinion,
Nada. Forget it.
that shit sticks, right?
It sticks.
And I see people tweeting, "Oh, that guy did that shit." And people are like, this guy has been acquitted. What do you mean? So there's that whole thing around, oh, what is legal and what is moral, right? Can
Hmm.
10 women be lying? Can 10 women collude together to get rid of this guy? What's the intention behind that? Oh, he's really, guilty. Oh, just because someone is acquitted doesn't mean he's innocent. It means sometimes it can mean that there wasn't a strong case enough for him to be convicted. So different things have been going around the whole thing, right? He's not played football for 2 years. He's been suspended by the club. I don't know if he was paid or not. He was also living a very wild life. Like, what's your own take on it, guys? I want to know, like, through what lens are you seeing this whole thing?
So, the way I'm looking at it, right? I don't know the exact details of what happened in court, but a lot of people should be aware that um, the legal system is not your neighborhood argument parlor. People made claims, they brought out the evidence, everything was weighed, um, right in front of a jury of his peers, or I don't know if the UK uses jury system, but in front of a judge who's well known. And this is the way it works. You accuse me. Now it is for you and your team to prove beyond reasonable doubt that I did what you're accusing me of. If there is any slight doubt, then that means I have to go. So yes, this issue of public opinion is very, very dangerous. It's a very slippery slope that we're in. Because at the end of the day, in the eyes of the law, Benjamin Mendy did not do anything. He should move on. But public opinion still looks at him like somebody who is a rapist or convict and everything. And it ties to cancel culture, that big monster called cancel culture. And ever since he reared his big head in society, not only in sexual assault cases or that of domestic violence, it has caused more problems than solutions at the end of the day. Because right now, many should go back into the Man City training facility and go back and start his life again. But he cannot. I'll be very surprised if Mendy is picked by a top club in Europe. It's going to be a big issue because you know what's going to come next. The protest, the movement, the cancel culture thing. Is like you said, it will stick with him for a long time. And this is where we are right now. Johnny Depp was acquitted in front of a jury of his peers, by a jury of his peers. Until today, there are people questioning why Johnny Depp is appearing at international film festivals. When it was clear that his partner was the one lying, still he hangs over him. And there are many more like this. So this is the world we live in right now. Obviously, Mendy was living a wild lifestyle, but I don't think the consequence that he's facing here is not right at the end of the day. If 10 women lie, if 10 women come out with their own accusations, right? At least 8 must land. Look at Bill Cosby now. Bill Cosby has a harem of women that accused him, and the man went to prison at the end of the day. So, but at the end of the day, the accusers, they are what do you call it? The accusations did not land, and Mendy should be a free man, but he's free, but there's going to be a big cloud over his head, and it's going to affect his football career at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think what people are just trying to say is that even if the accusations didn't land, or weren't strong enough for him to get convicted, it doesn't mean he didn't do it. Do
Yeah,
you get
but
my point?
how
So
do
it's
we
now
know?
we don't know if he did it or not. Exactly. It's like we still don't know if he did it
Hence,
or not.
why the court of law is very, very, it's still the best, even though it's not foolproof. It's still the best. You know, we can't just go off feeling our vibes and say he should be cancelled because of this. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time or whatever. It's still very the legal system is still the best system for me. The whole
Hmm.
public opinion and cancel culture based off an accusation is very wild. You can destroy careers. Look at let's go back 2 3 years ago. I think it was during lockdown. A young man in Canada, a Nigerian man, a young guy was accused of committing rape, and he came out to say he didn't do it. Nobody believed him. What happened? The guy committed suicide.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. But everybody on social media already judged the guy. This popular social media influencer, comedian Justin Yuji, the same thing.
Yeah.
Luckily for that guy, and I won't lie, when I read it, I was like, man, this guy's moving wild. Luckily, that young
He
man
had
had
receipts.
receipts. You see? So at the end of the day, man, until you can come up with a better system than the legal system, bro, this is where we are.
Yeah, it's very there's no perfect scenario, there's no perfect outcome, right? Because at the end of the day, you have to convince a jury that the guy committed a crime,
Yeah,
and then they have to then say he's guilty, right?
yeah,
And even they come out and say he's not guilty, and he might or not might have done that shit,
yeah.
you know, people will still come out and give their own opinion. I can't blame people for giving their own opinion, Sha.
Oh yes,
That's one thing
definitely.
I can't fault
Yeah,
it because that's what comes with the territory.
he comes. Look at OJ Simpson. He wasn't declared guilty. Bonega.
Mm-hmm.
Bonega. That's he was rightly cancelled at the end of the day, my guy.
It
Nobody's
was
complaining.
cancelled. Though.
Nobody's complaining
They
about OJ
cancelled that
Simpson.
guy.
Yeah.
That was the first counseling, man.
That
Kai.
that the council we black people have to come out and say, bro, you did that shit, bro. You know, but still,
And the
it's
idiot, up till now, he still trolls about that shit. Do you
yeah,
know?
he wrote a book like titled one weird name. How would I have done it, or how would I can't remember. Let me look for that name or that silly book that he released. He was
The
just
guy still
mad.
trolls about that thing. You just come and still troll again.
Yeah,
Like, nah. So yeah, that's it with Benjamin Mendy. And
yeah. Sorry, the name of the book
you know,
is "If I Did It: Confessions of the Killer." Can you
oh my
imagine?
god.
Can you imagine? Come on,
Oh my
come on.
god. What year did that book drop?
That it came out 2007.
OJ Simpson is crazy.
He's a wild man.
White Bronco.
Well, bro, we all remember that time when I was young. Now we all are saying it was the news that shocked the world. Like, come on,
Yeah, it was everywhere. We were
it was
watching
even.
it. I remember.
Yeah.
I remember. One court case or one trial that was like really big, and I remember that day we were stuck on the TV watching it live. One trial, the Michael Jackson trial,
Oh yeah, the first and
14
second one.
counts, bro.
Yeah, man.
The 14 counts,
Yeah. So
and they
somebody
read
like
all 14
MJ.
counts
So
not
somebody like
guilty. That
MJ
shit was
too.
crazy.
Somebody
Yeah.
like MJ too. You can look at that and see. Uh,
Hmm.
he was never ever found guilty. The first one, it was I think they settled out of court. The second one, he
Hmm.
went to trial and he beat all the cases.
14.
But still, I always ask people like, will you allow Michael Jackson with your kids? It's wild, bro. This man that did Thriller, you know, I love it. I grew up on Michael Jackson, but I listen to his music, but the back of my mind, I'm like, is it only you, bro? Not only you, not only you they play with you there. Come on, wow, you know. So justice is never perfect. It's just the best we can do.
Hmm. Speaking about albums, you mentioned Thriller. I just
Mm.
want to tell you guys, and I know Steve is going to jump into this thing right now, but I just want to tell you guys that Michael Jackson's best album
It's off the wall.
is
It's off the wall.
Dangerous. No, it's
For
Dangerous.
real? No, I have to listen
Is
to
his
Dangerous
1990,
today.
yeah, is his
Osagie.
1991 album. Can
Osagie.
I can I can I
1990
can
what?
I just
1990.
1991, the 1991
Osagie.
album. Can I say something?
It's
I know
alright.
Steve was going to jump.
Allow Osage land. Allow Osage land, please.
Let me tell you why Dangerous is Michael Jackson's best album. Right? Of course, Thriller is what we love. Off the wall. Yes, I know we always have those conversations, but bro, I was listening to MJ's discography one day, and I said, "Let me listen to Dangerous." I listened to Bad, and I said, "Let me listen to Dangerous." Let me read out the track listing for
That's
Dangerous.
what I want to do now, sir. What's the dangerous
Number
track
one,
listing?
number one, Jam.
Yeah. Okay.
Number two, Why You Want to Trip on Me. Fine. Number three, In the Closet.
All right.
Something about you,
How's
baby.
Naomi
Yeah,
Campbell now, Abby? In that video.
yeah, the Cameron video. Number
Yeah.
four, She Drives Me Wild. Number five, Remember the Time.
Oh, jump. Jump.
Hmm.
That's my best
Number
video.
six,
My best MJ
of course.
video.
Number six, Can't Let Her Get Away. Number seven, Heal the World.
Oh,
Number eight, Black or White.
oh, killer.
Number nine, Who Is It?
I don't like that one. I don't like that one.
Number 10, Give In to Me. Number 11, Will You Be There? Number 12, Keep the Faith. Number 13, Gone Too Soon. Number 14, Dangerous.
He stacked, I won't lie, sha. And this is when he went to Teddy Riley. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
this is the Ted
Stacked.
Riley album.
He stacked. Stacked, sha.
It's a stacked album, bro. It's a stacked album.
See,
Oh.
don't fuck with MJ's discography. MJ's discography solo is flawless. Even the last one he did before he died. 10 million at
this
the gate.
album, this album had 9 singles, bro. 9. Like he had singles. The album dropped in 91. The album had singles that were still being released in 93.
It's MJ, bro. You don't do 4 month albums with MJ now.
Hmm. MJ. This album is stacked. Steve, what did you want to say? We're listening to you.
I
See,
don't think I'm ready to go into this like long argument with you because this is not the podcast to do it. I don't agree. You've not convinced me.
Yeah, this is not the podcast, sha, anyway.
This is not the podcast because we can go like we
Because
can.
Gen Z have lost you. You've lost the Gen Z crowd already.
Yeah, we've lost Gen
You're
Z.
not
This is
talking.
not the
we lose
podcast to
Gen
do
Z.
it.
You're not
You
talking
know,
about Gunna's new album and whether we should listen to it because he snitched. We're not talking about that one.
I couldn't listen to that Gunna's new album. I don't know why.
I've not, bro.
Is
I
it
don't.
an album
It's
or
an
is it a
album.
single?
No, it's a whole album. It's a whole last album.
Okay, the
It's a
album
whole
had dropped,
album, no.
right?
Yeah, the whole album was
You know,
dropped.
after the album, Young Talk dropped an album from jail just to fuck him.
Yeah, but they now said that the the Ghana album is outperforming the Young Thug album. Then
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I
Young
heard.
Thug started promoting the Ghana album because the more he promotes it, the more money he makes because
oh yeah,
Ghana is
that's
signed to him.
they are still tied to him. But the whole YSL, the remaining small clique of the YSL don't fuck with Ghana. In short, the old big boys in Atlanta, like those the gang affiliated guys, are like, man, Ghana is a rat. Well, me, I don't care because I don't live that lifestyle, so I really don't
I
care.
mean, you guys already know my feelings towards all these things, anyways. So
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry guys, I want to say something about the Benjamin Mendy thing,
oh
right?
yeah,
mhm.
speak.
I'm so big on like action and consequences, right? Actions and reactions, right? Yeah, he's been the verdict is not guilty. Congratulations to him. I'm happy to see that he's not going to be punished for something he didn't do. So that's fine. But I still want to say that he still puts himself in this position where because of his recklessness, right?
Oh, def.
And his lack of discipline. Like just because you're rich and because you have money does not mean that you are going to be irresponsible and be
Yeah,
having reckless sex and just look
orgies and all that.
orgies and all that. Look at some of the scenarios. I was reading the case. I was reading these stories, right? Some of the cases, right? A friend of his brought a girl to his house. Like that was his guy's. That was his guy's girlfriend. He just outrightly. They're just sitting there. He just outrightly asked the girl, "Can we have sex?" Right?
That's wild.
That's someone. Yeah, that's someone who is using his position as an important personality in the society.
And
You
privilege.
know, yeah, his privilege. He's just using his privilege to like, get sex. Think he can get sex whenever he wants it.
Yeah.
Even when it's not rape and those girls consensually, agree to have sex with him, there's still some sort of exploitation in that in it,
The power
right?
dynamic is too much on his
The
side.
power dynamics is too much in his side, and it like, bro, see this life, there's consequences for everything that we do. So you ask yourself, am I ready to bear the consequences of any action I'm about to take? I'm not sure he asked himself these kind of questions. I'm not sure he answered that properly before he started embarking. Bro, trust me, his lifestyle is going to change. Nobody go tell him now, no.
Yeah.
Nobody.
That guy's going to
Nobody.
Nobody.
he's going to marry a
And my
woman that's he's going to marry a woman
problem
from
is,
Mecca.
And therein lies my problem. Why do you have to go through this to learn this? You don't have to,
So
right?
let me just jump here, right? I think football in
Yeah,
Europe has not been able to catch up with modern times and how these modern stars should treat themselves. Like I see a lot of young footballers out there, especially the black ones in the UK. You're earning £200,000 per week. You're earning £150,000 per week, bro. You're at the top of your game. You know, there's a certain way you have to move because you now have a target on your back. I'm not saying people are trying to see you as a cash cow, but if you move anyhow, as we say in the street, if you do anyhow, you go see anyhow. You know, if you jump from woman to woman like that, nobody's saying you should not enjoy your youth or enjoy your fame, but be careful at the end of the day. You have to think twice, you know. And he's not, and Mendy is not the only one. There are other Man City players who were mentioned in that small snippet that I saw. Shout out to Jack Grealish, but
yeah. Grealish was
Grealish has to know
mentioned.
the way he's
Yeah,
going to move right now because he can't be
yeah.
doing that rubbish
Wait,
anymore.
Grealish was mentioned and he had not even joined Man City then.
Yeah, bro. We also saw a picture of Grealish with a black
No, I
woman.
think he had joined. He had joined City then. That was when he. That was his first
No,
Okay.
season. That was his first
no.
season.
When
No,
That's
that was
just
his
one of the
first
when the
season.
cases.
team
That's one of the cases.
That was his first season. I remember. Yeah, that was his first season.
That's his first
That was his
season.
first
Yeah,
season. Yeah, and we
okay.
also saw that picture of Jack Grealish with a black woman on his bed. Like, bro, pattern yourself accordingly, man. We're not saying you don't do this or do that, but bro, you have to be discreet. At the level you are,
bro.
you should be
You have
very
to be
conservative.
responsible.
You have to
You
be
have to
very
be responsible.
conservative the way
Yeah,
you go with women.
you have to
Really,
be
yeah,
responsible.
and that's why we're beginning to see a lot of cases with Premier League players because there is
Yeah, rape
nobody.
cases.
We don't have there's no cultural director that is sitting these guys down like, bro, start moving with your fucking sense. At the end of the day, start moving your fucking sense. At the end of the day, they say a Premier League player who has a rape case that has not been named yet. I don't know who that guy is, you know. And as a Manchester United fan, I can't even tell you all the while we've been through in the last 2 seasons with the wild guys that we have, you know, giving all these young guys heavy money. There's huge media attention. I think it was this guy that said it, Januzaj, or a young player. He said the moment he started playing for the first team and he scored his first goal, his life changed. He couldn't walk on the streets of Manchester anymore
Hmm.
because everybody was like, you know, women, yeah, women at his beck and call. Guys wanted to hang out with him. And I don't really want to go back to the old Ferguson thing, but Ferguson had private detectives following his players. You couldn't go wild. I remember Rio Ferdinand he said he lied to Fergie. And Fergie says, I know what you've been up to. If you want to stay long in Manchester United, focused on football. So I think in the world of football right now, they really need to check the way these players behave. They really need to caution them and tell you, this is how you move.
Do you think like clubs need to do more in terms of training?
Oh yeah, definitely they have to do. They have to do. It's just more than football now. You have to train them like you know how to move as an ambassador of the club. You know what the culture itself. You can't just be doing crazy shit like that. And, you know, so I think they need that training. Some clubs have started having like a lot of mental health, you know, stuff like that. And some clubs are beginning to tell young players, okay, once you get on the limelight, this is how you act, this is how you behave, this is how you keep your life private. But still, at the end of the day, when you get a 18-year boy collects 250K, what more can you like
Hmm.
somebody like Mbappe now? What do you want to tell him? Really, this is a
Hmm.
man that has won the shebang, really. What do you want to tell Mbappe if he wants to go wild?
You won the World Cup at 19.
Bro, so you have to caution yourself, you know. And I also think that goes back to the way they train them in academy. Apart from those skills and developing physically, you have to let them know the way they should see the world and behave in that manner.
You guys just be like Rashford.
I dey fear
Just
for
be like
Rashford though. I
Rashford.
am praying for that boy because his tattoos getting to Lil Wayne level right now. I'm just praying for that guy. They should wrap him. I know he has a strong mother.
Tattoo is not
Oh, I know
a.
he's not. I'm just being a very conservative Nigerian, even though I'll
Okay,
still have a
all
tattoo,
right.
sha. But he has a strong mother and is managed by his brothers. So I think they're wrapping him in wool. Please, eh? I don't just want to see him near Pogba. I don't just want to see him near Pogba or Lingard. Those two should go at the end of the day. Please.
Oh my god. I feel you, I feel you, I see you. Like they always say, right? Good people learn from their mistakes. Great people learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah.
So, no matter the position you are in, if you and it happens to a lot of young men, you finish uni, got your first job, then you got a big break, you're earning 5x, what you were earning before. You have access to a lot of money. You have cars, etc., etc. And then you just want to start living a reckless lifestyle. Bro, all these things can vanish just like that.
Yeah, man.
Just like that.
See, money, power, and
When,
fame will kill a man if you don't know what you're doing.
you know, you unexpectedly welcome a new baby, right? With somebody you probably don't want to spend your rest of your life with,
Yeah, man.
or you go frivolicking and you go frolicking and you just hit somebody with a car. Like I've seen these things happen, bro, because you had access to wealth and you just started wilding. So please keep your head down, keep your head, be level headed, understand your purpose in life, and just keep it moving.
Yeah.
Speaking about mental health, man, well, some of us watched the Dele Alli interview.
Once a super ego, always a
And
super
What
ego.
do you mean by some of us? Are you trying to? What are you
Hey
trying to say?
God, between I don't know.
he,
Steve and Dele
Eh?
Ali need to be in a room and talk out the issues
No, no,
they
no. I didn't.
have.
I'm talking to Asage here. Asage said some of us. Well, like, what? I don't understand what he's
and
trying to.
some of us watched the interview now. Not everybody in the world watched it
Yeah,
now.
Oh,
definitely,
okay, okay, okay. I
definitely.
just wanted to
Ah,
understand what you're saying.
some of us watched the interview. That's what I said. And I'm sticking to it. Anyways, he granted an interview to Man United legend Gary Neville on his his YouTube. It's about 30 to 40 minutes long. Talked about a lot of things. If you guys don't know who Dele Alli is, he's a footballer for Everton Football Club. Used to play for Tottenham Football Club, very popular. Had a very, glowing career. Went to the World Cup, scored a couple of goals, and we just started to see a decline in his performance. And it was so bad. He left Tottenham, went over to Everton, didn't perform there. He was loaned out to, I think, Bekistas or so in Turkey. And he also didn't perform very well there, and his career has just been on decline. Social media posts, you can see him smoking or doing something
He was doing
or the
balloons
other,
in one video.
doing balloons. There were so many reports of his off-field activities, and they were not, in glowing reviews. Anyways, he granted his interview with Gary Neville and opened up about some of the things that happened in his past, including, abuse, drug abuse, sexual abuse, not growing up in a, proper family system, but his life changed for the better when he got adopted. But you can then now understand, you know, why his career has been on a decline, from a mental point of view, you know, experiencing a lot of trauma or relief trauma and all that. And I think it was very important for him to do the interview because it's going to
All right.
inspire a lot of younger people um to also come out and share their stories. Remember, this is sports, right? People don't usually. I was listening to ESPN FC and Craig. I think Steve Nicol that was saying is right. People never used to do stuff like this. If you do stuff like this, they'll clown you, they'll laugh at you, or they'll call you a weak man. So I'm glad that he came out to share this with the world, and maybe this was the best way for him to do it and really then get over it. So shout out to Dele Ali. Some people on this podcast, some hosts on this podcast have an
Voila, dude.
a different view of this whole thing, right? And Steve and I got into it for close to an hour.
You guys made the
In
group
the in
group
this
chat group chat hot.
Yeah, we made the group chat hot. I was cooking Steve and Steve was cooking me. We're cooking each other. As I did serve am jollof, Steve did serve me fried rice. I did serve am poundo yam. Instead they send me but we were I mean we cooked each other. I don't know if you've seen that video of Lakeith Stanfield and that guy that was the lead character in Coming Home to America when told us like, I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good day
Yeah, I hope
too.
you have a good
Oh
day
yeah, I
too.
know
I
that
wish you the
movie.
best.
I don't know. Wild
Yeah.
movie, man.
I was, yeah. That's what Steve and I were doing in the group. And Steve's opinion is, fuck all this shit at the end of the day. That it's just PR for him to come back. And
Please
that,
let Steve
if you
speak. Let Steve.
I
So
didn't say fuck. I didn't say
no
fuck
cutting
him.
here for
Oh.
your
I didn't
absence.
say. I didn't say fuck all this shit. I'm saying two things can be true. Yeah, he was abused as a kid. And that might have affected him. But that's not the reason he started performing badly in his career.
Can I ask you?
That's not the
Can I ask
reason.
you a question, Steve?
Please
So
do.
when Dele Ali came on board, it was more. It was Harry Kane, Son, and Dele Ali were the three bad guys for Tottenham. Everybody knew that one.
Yeah.
And he started to fall off. Why
hmm
did he fall off football wise now? Because he was doing something right before.
hmm
Yeah. So what happened to him? What happened? Was it his style of
He
play,
didn't.
or
It's a
just
skill. He doesn't have the right. Like
he didn't develop his
he
game?
don't. He didn't develop his game well enough to have like, to have like a long career, so a long successful career. What he
Okay.
was doing as a midfielder wasn't sustainable. Like
What
I've
was he
always said,
doing? What was he doing?
even at the height of Dele Alli's career, I kept saying that this is not sustainable. You can't be a midfielder and the only thing that defines your game is just scoring goals.
Okay.
It is
Okay.
not sustainable,
Yeah.
And once he stopped scoring, the thing is, even while he was playing and while he was scoring and at the height of his career, watched his game. The only thing that stood out was his scoring, and he was a midfielder. I'm like, bro, you either convert into a straight striker or you go and learn how to be a midfielder because this thing is not going to carry you all through your career. And that was what has happened. Yes, so I understand the trauma thing, the childhood trauma thing, and how it can affect people, right? I understand it. And I understand, that it can really affect you, right? What I feel about that interview, my honest take on that interview was, well, number one, it was a PR move. It's a PRO move because he has developed there's this reputation that's come about him that one is he didn't have the talent to play at the Premier League level, and that's why when Lampard took a chance on him to
Yeah.
sign
Never
him from
to.
Tottenham and to everything, and that didn't work out. And after Everton, he couldn't find a club in England to take him in even on loan, and that's why he went to Turkey. And I think also the stories from Turkey were not really, really favorable in terms of what happened in Turkey too. And I think they felt that this would, make him not to be able, this would prevent him from being able to secure a good move to a good side in England. And just, you know what? Let's just come up with, yes, he has gone to done some work, he suffered some trauma, he has gone to done some work now. But let's go and tell the media this so that we'll be able to get another chance. Two things can be true. This is a good and powerful PR move that he has made, and it's going to pay off because you know coaches are going to look at him in a different light and just give him more chances, right? So when you say now that we understand what he has been going through, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What leverage does it give to him? Does this give him a leverage to be a bad footballer in the last 2 years, in the next 2 years, or in the next 3 years? Like, what's the timeline? What do you think? What do you think this does for his career? In my own opinion, that's
So
my own point.
how old
Like,
is
what does this
How
thing
old
do
is
for his
Dele Ali
career?
now?
He's 27.
Damn.
What does it this
That's
do for his career? Like, what do you expect us? Because you keep saying, "Oh, we should understand footballers." Now that we understand that footballers go through that, are human beings, what do you expect us to do? What do you want us to do? You want us to give them a window to be bad and not suffer the consequences of being a bad footballer. Like, what do you want us to do? That's my own point. Now that mental health is an issue, we know that players are human beings. We know that players suffer from things outside of football. What do you want us to do? Because at the end of the day, this is a result business. This is a result game. That's my whole point,
Don't do
Osage.
anything. Stop
I
tying it
should not
back
do
to his
anything.
career. Oh, now he has given it. How does this tie back to his career? No, somebody is coming to the world to, because the world has seen everything he's done, and he says,
Yeah,
"Okay, I owe it to the world to explain how I
yeah,
have gotten here," and he has
yeah.
gotten that off his chest. The next
hmm
steps of him going back to his career is entirely different. These are mutually exclusive things. It's entirely
How's it?
different from,
How's it entirely
excuse me,
different when
it's different. Okay,
it's a result business? It's a result game. The football sport is a result
my
oriented
brother, you
business.
can go back to the pitch and start training again. It's different
And
from
let
you
him.
granting an interview. Why are you tying it together? Why?
I'm
What's
going
the
to tie it together because he's a footballer primarily.
you go back to training at Everton and continue playing football now? What's that? How's that? Why are you
Okay, so
tying
now,
it
okay, if he
to?
continues playing football and is bad this season, what should we do now? Because he has said something about his mental health and what he has gone through.
If he's
We
bad,
shouldn't criticize him. We shouldn't
if he's
throw
bad,
him.
no. If he's bad, then his
Yeah.
performance is not great. He hits the bench.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
He hits the bench.
Steve, I want to ask you a question because we
Please
also
do.
that viral Moreno clip where he was talking to that very annoying Tottenham chairman. and he
Yeah,
said, "Oh, that the first player that he said
Ferguson.
that Ferguson told him only one, gave him only one advice, and how to sign
Yeah,
Dele Alli. That Dele Alli is a Manchester United player. What do you think
yeah.
Fergie saw in him? Was it just the raw talent, or to mold him into something better?
I don't believe that anyway.
Okay, so maybe Mourinho was just
I don't
gassing up.
believe that anyway.
Maybe it was
But it's still possible. It's still possible that maybe Ferguson said, you know what, I can play him as an eight or so. Ferguson played 4-4-2 for a long time, or
oh yeah,
like I
we
don't know
use him in a
what like
different
Ferguson
position.
wanted.
Okay,
You can
okay.
use him in a different position that would really not make him work as a midfielder and really use his,
Because I've always wondered about that
capitalize on his
coach.
skills.
Yeah, I've always wondered about
Yeah,
that coach.
like
Like, where
that's.
will you put a
I'm,
Dele
I'm
Alli?
I'm not saying I've never said there's nothing about Dele Alli. I'm saying like, see, scoring goals is not easy in football. For you to be in positions to score goals and put shots on target, it really means you're skillful, right? You have something in you. My own is as a midfielder, it doesn't help you that much. So what do you do? Are you either a striker or a midfielder? So just choose one. That's just my own problem, right? So for talent wise, I've never like really rated him. I've never rated him, right? And him coming out to say, "Oh, this is what has been happening to me," does not change my view about his talent at all. That's why I kept asking Osagi, "What do you want me now to do now that he has said this? How does it affect
Don't
me?"
do anything. It doesn't
I
have to do
wasn't
with
doing
his
anything
football.
before now.
You keep tying it to his football. Like, oh, now I've granted this interview. Nobody will critique me on my footballing. No, that's not what we're saying. We're saying I've been acting wild and my performance has dropped because I have been relieving some trauma and it has really affected me and I can't take it any longer and I have to tell the world. That what it is, right?
Osage,
And
what
what
do you
I've been
think?
trying to explain to you is
Let
that
me. I want to ask you
le-
something
le-
about this interview. I want to
le-
ask you something about this interview. Do you think
yeah,
this interview is the work that he did? Is the work that was needed for him, like to get out of this situation, or therapy? What do you think this interview did for him? Because you're saying now that he has told the world, he's now free. Like, do you
yes,
think this interview did anything for him?
of course, he got it off his
What
chest, bro. He
he,
has
he,
never
he
told the,
already
he has
gotten it
never.
off. No, no, no. That was Gary Neville is not a therapist. That
I'm
was
not
not a
saying
therapist.
I'm
It's
not
yeah,
saying I'm
like,
not, bro,
going on an
bro,
interview to
bro,
do something
bro,
does not do anything for
bro.
you. Is a PR move. The
That's
work that you
it
have
can
to
be
do is
it
to go
can be
and meet a mental health expert and go undergo therapy, real
it can be
therapy
Maybe
in
has
it
gone.
can be
private.
Maybe
two
has gone
Now,
because
things.
he said he
I
went to
don't buy
rehab.
that.
He said he has
He
been to
said he
rehab.
has gone. That's the work that is needed. He has done the work already. This is just PR. This is just to come and paint and just repair his
And this
image.
is where
Simple.
this is where we don't see eye to eye.
All right.
And I'll tell you, right, that it can be both. It can be both.
Yeah.
It can be a PR move to say, okay, oh, this is what was wrong with this guy. But really, it can also be a guys, this is why I've been bro, it's like how I also did therapy, right? And then I've spoken about it in a couple of interviews.
Yeah.
Oh, this happened and I did therapy and I felt better. Did I need to say it in the interview? Yes. Why? Because I wanted to let people know so that if someone outside there is listening, they also go for therapy. They also be
Okay.
able to speak their truth. So don't,
Okay.
and I don't sound like all these like Twitter woke people, but don't put a lead on somebody who is trying to open up. Don't do that.
Oh,
If that's that
okay.
person's way of coping, even though the person has gone to therapy, then that's that person's way of coping. It doesn't now mean the coach will now say, "Oh, because you were abused, I always start you if you are not performing." It's entirely different.
Now
Or
na
the referee will
coachy.
say, or the referee will say, "I'm not
I
going
hope
to
so.
give you
I hope
yellow
so.
card. I'm not going to give you yellow card. You were abused. I won't give you yellow card." No, if he doesn't perform, then act accordingly. That still remains, right? And that's what I'm trying to. And why I'm trying to even see it through Dele Ali's lens and put some empathy is that this guy used to be a high performer. Dele Ali was not an average person, or wasn't even. It's not like one random bowler that couldn't play then came out with this story. He was performing at a very high level. Went to the Champions League final. Went to the semi-finals of the World Cup. Actively participated. Scored goals. Played good football. So it's not a case of, and we started to see a clear drop in, bro. Ayo, can you remember Alan Smith?
Oh yeah, no.
We saw something like this now
That Leeds
when he
United
came
guy.
from Leeds. Yeah, he came from Leeds to Manchester United. He was playing, as a central forward. They paired him with Rooney at times, and he was playing, playing, playing. This time, Van Nistelrooy had left, and he wasn't, at some point, he wasn't performing well, but he was very aggressive. What did Fergie do? Took him to play four, and he was playing defensive midfield for us for a while, and played, and then left the club. Like people go through shit, bro. And speaking about Dele Alli and Fergie would have converted that guy into a very nice 8 or 9. I won't lie. Would have moved him upfield. So again, I want people to come out and talk and tell their stories. This guy is inspiring one young boy right now who they are using to move drugs. And he's going to be like, I'm not going to do this anymore. You hear now? It was the Daily Ali. Bro, haven't you gone on YouTube and watched an interview and it changed your perspective and inspired you to do something? You can't put a lead on it and you can't just attribute it to PR. It's very unfair. That's my own take on it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Dele Ali.
All right, let's go from, you know, Steve thinking people are using some sort of things to scam their way back into football to real scammers who have been taking people's money, who have been taking people's money, right? Bro, what happened this week on social media is why it will take threads a long time
Oh, very long
to
time.
compete with Twitter.
Very long time. You know the engagement has dropped. That's falling off a cliff
You
already.
know that? Yeah, because it's too happy on the platform.
Yeah,
Everybody's
so
happy on the
everybody see
platform.
fake. Nobody don't vex each other yet. Yeah.
you know. And this is why Instagram will always be Instagram, the happy place.
Yeah.
And
The
so he
nice
brought those
pixel.
happy people on. Yeah, he
It
brought
doesn't
those
work
happy
like that.
people on.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
It doesn't turn
We
on. They
need
don't switch.
chaos.
Okay, we need chaos to
We
thrive.
need full time chaos.
So
That's what we
please,
need on
so please,
Twitter.
this topic I didn't follow it. So can someone just give me a summary? I don't know that £20,000 was missing.
Steve has a summary.
All right.
Lead researcher, please go
Lead
ahead.
researcher, please. BSc, MSc.
I don't have, his Twitter gist. I don't have the full gist, but apparently one girl came and tweeted that a certain Ajibola who she was dating, scammed her of £20,000 sterling.
UK
Right?
pounds, please. Let us be
UK
exact.
pounds,
Okay.
pound sterling. The only currency with his surname. And so people started tweeting that that Ajibola is a scam, he scammed me. Some guys tweeted that he came to him as a mentee and scammed him. That's how this thing started. Oh. Then people started saying that she was lying. They opened the space and people came out. They were all in the UK. S- Something shall led to something, and the guy they found the guy. They brought him to space. He agreed to pay. He said it was 17,000
Wait,
pounds.
they brought him
He
to
said he had
space.
11.
They brought him to Twitter
Yes, to
spaces.
Twitter space. Yeah, something like that's how
And
I
he,
Caught,
and he,
understand.
and he
I
started
understood
and he
it.
started trolling the lady.
caught
I
of
started
public
trolling the
opinion. Ah,
lady.
that's not nice. That's
Then
not
later
nice.
he said he has £11,000 cash to pay to the guy, to the girl that he can't pay through bank in the UK. That they have this policy that you can't pay large sum of amounts into bank accounts. That you can go to the girl's house to give her cash. They repeated that. One woman came and handled the whole situation. At the end of the day, the guy paid the money. And that I think that day he paid 11,000, and I think the girl tweeted yesterday that she has received the full 17,000
Wow.
pounds.
So people
That
went
was the
on
end of the
Twitter
story.
space to argue this.
Bro, people were on Twitter space for more than 7 hours
See,
talking about
first
this
of
thing.
all, I want to apologize to Elon Musk. Any money where you want to put on Twitter, don't I beg. Please. People are too free with this app.
So I didn't really follow it. I was just seeing the gist. I was just once in a while I'll go on the space, just like listen to what's happening, like 5 minutes, and I'll go out. That's how I just follow the gist. But that's just the summary of the whole gist. A guy scammed his girlfriend of £17,000. She came on Twitter to complain.
Twenty
People
thousand
came
pounds.
together to 20, no, she said £20,000, but the guy came on space and argued that it was seventeen thousand
Oh,
pounds,
thief where they
and it
argue
was
again.
£17,000 that he paid back. That was it. It
He
was
said there
really,
were up
really
to
an interesting day,
7,000 people in the Twitter space.
Ah,
bro. There were a lot of people in that Twitter space,
Tinubu,
and for long hours
Tinubu,
they were
your army is
arguing.
ready. Your army is
They were
ready.
arguing. There's one guy. He's a nurse. I forgot his name. Because when the guy first started tweeting, the guy came and said the girl was looking for clout and just really attacked the girl. The guy I don't know how the guy now carried the issue on his head. He was the one that first opened the space and
He
started
became the
really
advocate for
trying
the
to.
guy.
He became an advocate for the guy.
And
He
you know
was
why?
trying to
You know why
like
the thing was annoying me? The guy is my namesake.
Oh, for real?
Yes, Osage started
Yeah.
trending that day.
Evian
That's
people.
true.
Shout
Yeah, the
out.
guy's
Osage
my
now started
namesake.
trending.
And I
Osage
was
now
just like,
started trending that day.
who's this bomb?
Oh god, it was really funny. Then he really, I think, what really happened was when that girl, the woman, a certain woman came and really took over the situation, right, and took that guy to the back, like really relegated him, to the background. And it didn't pain the guy because if you see the tweets later, the guy was still claiming that he was the one who took charge and made sure the girl was paid. Like it's just, bro, man,
So the woman who came to, take charge of the situation and basically helped the girl get her money back,
facilitate her money, yeah,
yeah, facilitated the whole refund.
payback, yeah.
She's like an OG
She's an
UK
OG, yeah,
Naija
UK
UK babe,
resident.
right? Her
Yeah,
name, I think
yeah.
Blanco or something is her name. If I'm not
Blanco,
wrong.
that's her
Yeah,
name. That's
That's a
true.
and
gangster
her
name. Oh.
voice, her voice and everything. She's very
Bro,
outspoken.
she has that aura. Like she has the
Yeah,
aura. You can when you
yeah,
hear her talk, she has an aura.
very
Yeah.
commanding voice and
Very
everything. And took charge of the
commanding. Yeah.
situation. And I think someone at the end of the whole thing now tweeted. So after all the men shouting, there was a woman that sorted the situation out.
I started tell you.
I
It was
just
just really interesting. And it just really, brought up a conversation about like, how
things we do
people
for
deal with
love.
how people deal with money, especially in relationships, and red flags of people asking for money. And it was funny seeing girls talk about, oh, once a guy starts asking me for money, I know it's a red flag. I'm like, if we start following that trend,
Omo.
Hmm.
if
It's not going anywhere.
Omo.
It's not going anywhere.
Omo.
Another thing I saw
we
in the whole
follow in
thing.
footstep. Huh?
Another thing I saw in the whole thing is how people are very intense when they're in love with somebody.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you have you met people like that?
Yeah, the Mumu button just. Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
people
I think
shit
I
gets
think
very
it's
intense and very
in my own
intense under a very
opinion.
short period of time. Right? You're dating someone 3 months in. Some people are ready to sign over everything.
True, my own opinion, I think is a sign of not loving yourself. That's how I see it. Like I love myself too much to put myself in certain situations just because of another human,
Love
right?
yourself.
And yeah, it's just how, and it's been a red flag for me too. I've dated women who like really are really intense. Like you want like it's so intense,
Like
and
what
I'm
the
like, this is
fuck?
not it's not healthy. It's not
Yeah, like
healthy.
chill.
It's not
Nobody,
healthy.
Like chill,
it
bro.
can't, it can't. I can't do it. And that's how it is because if I'm in a relationship with somebody, I want you to have your own life. I want you to live, to be your own person, to be
Oh my
independent of me.
god. Oh my
This is how
god.
it is,
Bro,
so that when we come back,
bro.
when we come together, we can join our experiences and share them and also go and live our lives. And this is how it should be.
Everybody should be
That
independent, whether in a
intense,
relationship. Have your
thank
own life.
you.
You are a
Have your
human
own
being.
life, have your
Do
own
not attach
thoughts, have
yourself
your
to
own
me.
processes.
Do not attach
Thank
yourself to me
you.
like this. Nah, Abba.
So like I really hate that intense shit and it really annoys me. And if I see people do it, I had a joke I threw in the group about the girl, right? And that joke, goes back to what I'm saying before. If you love yourself that much and you have confidence in yourself, you won't put yourself in certain positions, and that's it. Like me, I always say it. I've never been nobody, no woman has ever scammed me for anything or for love because of love. Like I've never done anything out of place just because I love someone. I have to be very rational. How does this affect me? How does this, you understand me?
When you say
Of course,
when you say like they have
of
not scammed
course,
this, that's financially, Abi.
financially, emotionally, I've
Okay,
never
okay,
been
okay,
in a
okay.
situation where I felt I was scammed. Right? I've never like I don't put myself. I really don't put myself in those situations. You know, it's not as if I don't sacrifice things for people. Like I sacrifice time, efforts, and
Yeah,
it like
yeah.
I do it. But I do it just because it's something I really want to do, not because it's something you are tricking me to do. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. I don't know how people do it, putting yourself in a position as a girl, and like looking at her, I'm not sure she was like really that bossed up. I think it's just money that she saved.
Bro.
She really wanted to use it to do
You
something
know
on
what
herself,
you know
and she
what
just gave it to.
£70,000 is, bro?
Do you know how much that is?
Hey.
Like it's just so scary. Like I had a
And
friend that I was telling you guys now. So I had a friend in America that, really gave his boyfriend money in Nigeria to go to the UK to school so that, in the process of jackpot, so that they can actually meet up in Canada, whatever. And the guy went with his girlfriend, with his own girlfriend, right?
Simple.
And when she brought the case to me, I blamed her. Like I didn't even console. I didn't even try to console her. I didn't even try to like really manage any situation. I straight up blamed her. Like you should know better. Like you
Abba,
shouldn't put
man.
yourself in those
That's
positions. Yeah. No,
too.
no, no. That's
No, I'm saying
bro. That's
that's wild of her to do that. Yeah, come on.
yeah. It's just wild. Like why would you like a long distance relationship? Number one, you've never met. You guys just talk on phone. You fell in love. You guys started dating via phone, and you develop that kind of trust to people. Like it means one that you don't have people close. Because me, before I do something like that, I'll come and ask you guys, this thing make I do, and make I run. I know someone that go tell me to make I not do am, right? So yes, now it's also important to have people to have like really a close circle, people who can call you out, people who can like really direct you. People don't have these things, and it's just so unfair. Like it's hard just seeing things happen. You know, and see, me saying that someone has not scammed me does not mean, oh, if someone scammed me too, or that means I'm stupid or anything, right? It happens. Like sometimes you can trust people too. Like I trust people in my life right now, right? If they do something, if they betray me, that means they've scammed me, right? And that will, you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Betrayal is something that happens in life, right? But the risk of it shouldn't stop you from really having people that you trust, right? But that trust should be rational. That trust should be based on like a long-term relationship or a good how do I put it? Like before you trust someone, right? You should be able to like have done your due
Yeah,
diligence
that's the
and
word.
really have
Due
rapport,
diligence.
understand the person, right? Yeah, because this same person, this same guy, his name is on his name is if you search his name, you see that in 2021 he was arrested for scamming his friends of 800,000 naira. The case went to court. His name is there online on news platforms. So how can you be in a relationship with somebody like that and you are bringing out 20,000 pounds of your own money and you're not doing any sort of due diligence? You remember that conversation that we had about when OC said someone scammed him of 70 million naira that he wanted to use to buy a car,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
neighbor. And I said that was very reckless of him. How can you be in a business relationship or so with someone like that? You've not done your due diligence. Apparently, also, if you search that guy's name, he has several cases where he was arrested for fraud. How can you be doing something of 70 million naira with someone and you didn't do any research on your own? You didn't even ask someone, I wanna know this guy. Or who has this guy done business with before? Let me ask them. Are you guys feeling me?
Yeah, I get you. I get
It's
you.
crazy.
Yeah,
It's
that's just
crazy.
how
With
me I
that amount
operate.
of money,
That's
it's crazy.
It's crazy now. That's how me I operate. That's how I do things. I'm very, very like
Thorough.
because money not there. I'm very thorough. Like before I do
No, it's
something, I
not
go
that.
ask people. You
It's
don't
just
understand?
the basics.
It's
I got
just
scammed. I
yeah.
got scammed yesterday, Sha.
Yeah. What's it happen?
Yeah. So let me give you the background gist. I was at the filling station at in Oregon, and
Yeah.
I was buying fuel. Right. This young boy just walks up to me, says he's hungry, but he wants to walk. He doesn't just want handouts. Do you understand? Genuinely was begging and all that. So I was like, what's the talk to me? They hadn't even started filling up my car. So he explained to me that he's a barber, he's learned how to barb, but he doesn't have his own barbing clippers. But he's the only one taking care of his family. He has a mom and like siblings, right? And so he explained all of that. And I was like, okay, I could have given this guy some money from the car, right? Cash. I was like, no, the best way to invest in this guy is to get him back to, get him in a position where he's making money so he can take care of his family, right? So I'm like, take my number, send me a text message. And he did. And I think like a week later, I got him like barbing clippers that he could use. And then he came to the house, he picked up the barbing clippers, boom, right? So I think like a few weeks later, like a month later or so, calls me again that they're about to kick them out of the house. I'm like, you should have been making some money now because he had a spot at a barbing salon. He didn't just have the clipper. So I basically didn't answer him. I'm like, sort your shit out. I've done my part, right? But yesterday he called again and said his mom is very ill, you know. And I was like, I felt some type of way, especially because I didn't help him the last time. So I'm like, your mom is ill. What is the cost? Said it's 50,000 naira. He's raised 30,000 naira. He's looking for 20K to add. I was like, okay, send me your account number. I could do that, right? Something just said, you know, like call him back. So I called him back. Where are you? Go to the hospital. So I just told him go to the hospital and take a picture. Okay, he was like, okay, okay. He's heading over to the hospital now, and he will take the picture. It wasn't up to 5 minutes. He sent, like a picture, and the picture I was just like, it's not even up to 5 minutes. Where's your house? Where's the hospital? So once he sent the picture, I reversed image the picture. And the guy just went to the internet and downloaded a picture of somebody with an IV in the arm.
Mm.
But I had sent the money, because I was doing something. So I like, let me send this money before I get distracted. Because if I get distracted, I might not send the money that day, or it might take hours. But I sent the money already, and then called him on WhatsApp. And as I called him, he picked, and I switched to video. He now had to pick it. I'm like, you're not at the hospital right now. Where are you? This picture you sent me, you you downloaded this picture from the internet. And then he started denying and whatever and whatever. At that point, I just cut it off. And I just sent him a message. Let me read it to you guys. And I said, look at the picture you sent me. It's quite sad that you lied to me. I'm quite disappointed. Take care of yourself and please never call or text me ever again. You know. And I felt betrayed. It wasn't the money. Money could have been more,
Yeah,
money could have been less, but I just felt betrayed that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then I started to even think about the barbing clippers I bought for this guy. Did he go and sell it
yeah,
He
off?
sold it.
He
Sold
yeah.
it.
didn't.
He went to sell it. He sold it off. No,
So I bought
normal,
something
normal,
for you,
normal, normal.
right?
I've given somebody.
That was
I've
worth up
given.
to 80K,
Yeah,
right? Because these are
yeah,
good barbing clippers, right? These
yeah.
are the barbing clippers I use that I recently bought. So I just purchased another one.
Another
And
one for him.
I'm just thinking this guy probably went to pawn it off and to do drugs or something. And I
Yeah,
felt very
those
not
ones are
betrayed. I
normal.
just felt disappointed.
Disappointed. Yeah. Those
And
ones
why
are
I felt
normal now.
disappointed was that I've been in positions where he was in, and people helped me
Yeah,
out, and I was
and that.
grateful, and I used it to change my life.
Yeah, and that's why I keep saying that. Oh, just because there's a risk of people betraying you, that does not mean you stop helping people, right? We still have to do what we have to do if we can do it. You know, I've done. See, there's one guy that used to come to repair my gen. In a solo back then, right? Like small gen. This guy knows how to repair gen. But I noticed that he does not have like a shop or something. He had a shop, but there's nothing there. He said he needs, that he needs a phone so that people can reach him. Then he needs to buy equipment and start selling generator parts. I remember giving him 100,000. This is like 4 or 5 years ago. 100K was that, bro? Till today, no shop. But I, but today,
Damn.
who still? Till today now, who lost? Not him now, because he's still where he is 4 years ago. He's still on the street, just chilling, just doing nothing. Once in a while, just doing like menial jobs and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So he
And
didn't.
and
The,
and
the
he
hundred
no
k
go
don't.
even get eye look you. He no go get eye
At
look
Thank
all.
you.
you. The 100K don't finish, Abby.
Since
Exactly.
Don't
So
go now.
that's yeah. It don't go. It don't go. So yeah, man. I just it's just sad when people just do that now. Like and that girl now, her next relationships are going to really suffer
yeah, so
because she's not
Bro,
going to be as
she
committed.
go dump the trauma
bro,
on them. She's going to dump the trauma on
Bro, the
them.
trauma,
Trauma dump.
bro.
bro,
The next guy in the
bro.
relationship is the one
That
that will
next guy
suffer
go
the most.
suffer.
See, that guy go pay for everything
Damn.
from beginning to the end.
That guy,
Nothing.
that guy, that guy, they'll probably be in a that's how this is how trauma works. They'll probably be in a situation where the guy forgot his money or forgot his wallet at home. And I was like, I forgot my wallet. So can you borrow me money? And she'll just be triggered. Like that's
As
how
as
that's
as
how
basic as basic as
that's how
that is.
basic. Thank you. She'll just be triggered. This one wants to start taking my money now. So it's just sad when I see things happen. Like I
I
just
think
hate betrayals.
she needs to go for therapy. I'm
Yeah,
glad
she
that she
needs she
came to
needs
the
it.
because and I'll tell you why, right? Coming to the public to even do this, right, is trauma.
It's
Yeah,
trauma. Yeah,
Forget
it's
yeah.
what she faced
traumatizing
with
too
Because
the
they
guy.
because
cry
it's
for help.
Forget what
humiliating.
she
Because
faced with
it's
the
very
guy.
humiliating.
Yeah,
It's very humiliating.
it's humiliating because she's not.
Yeah,
Oh, that's the girl that It's
That
humiliating.
gave a guy 17K.
It's called viral embarrassment. It's
yeah,
bad because Guess what? As she came out to complain to the world and cry for help, do you know that there were people trolling her?
Bro, the
Bro,
guy, the Osage guy that
it's
started, the
not man.
Osage guy was first trolling her. Said she was looking for clout. That's why she's saying it, that she does not look like somebody who can give someone 20,000 pounds.
This is someone you don't know from anywhere.
This is
Oh.
someone anywhere.
The
Bro,
internet
people
is
are
crazy, man.
intriguing. God.
The internet
He
is
said,
crazy.
look at you. You don't even look like somebody. Do you look like somebody who can afford 20,000 pounds? I'm like, what the fuck
Wait,
are
the
you
guy
talking about?
said that.
The guy said that now. The guy said that's how the conversation started now.
Hell,
Bro.
I
It's
mean,
Sasha. And I
I,
don't know how
I,
people continue to live their life like that because that Ajibola guy now, he has been doing this for a while. One, he like so they said that there's a WhatsApp group of people that he had cheated or like that he has scammed. Babes, guys, bro. The guy on Twitter, there's a popular guy on Twitter, and I don't know if you guys saw it. He said the guy came, the guy was calling me a bone on the TL, so he started mentoring the guy. So the guy was a
I
mentee.
saw that one. I saw that one.
He said, I saw the guy takes scam am.
Collect
Scammer,
money
career,
from ya.
career scammer.
Oh god. Well, I'm sorry. I don't give out huge sum of money to people who are not in my close circle. It's not happening. I'm not meeting somebody on Twitter and the person is saying borrow me 5 million.
Bro,
I don't get money.
ordinary the
I'm not
DMs that
I'm not doing
ordinary
it.
DMs where I say, bros, please, God will help. I don't even read the second line, delete. Spark as
I'm not
spam.
doing it.
Thank you.
If I have money to spend, like once in a while, when I just have some money, I see all those guys who are seeking medical, medical. Sometimes, anytime I see like medical, like someone like kidney transplant, all those things,
Yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
those like call out. I usually send what I can send and just move on. I don't need to know you. I just do. I say because I know what it is to be really sick in Nigeria, right? And you don't have
And
money,
you're out there.
so I just do it and move on. But you see that DM, give me 10K. I've not eaten since morning. I've never responded
But
to one in my
but you
life.
have data now. You have money for data now.
I've never responded to one in
No,
my
they wine
life.
federal. You dey mad.
Now me they wine, they Chris.
All
Oh
right, I think
boy.
in the spirit of giving and speaking about giving, I would love to share this. I don't think I've shared this on the podcast, but I think I've shared this with you guys. I don't know if you guys have read it, but there's something in Jewish practice called the 8 degrees of giving,
You said it before,
right?
Osagie, I remember.
Have I said it on this podcast?
Not on this one, the former one.
Oh, I think, would you permit me
Oh,
to also
definitely,
just
please.
share it again?
Please, yeah.
All right, it's called the 8 degrees of giving. It's under the Jewish practice, part of their learning and values, right? And then it goes from level 8 all the way
Sensei, we are
to,
learning from you.
yes, yes,
Switch on.
as the true lead researcher.
You the Chris.
And
Now
it
me
goes
be
from
the
it goes from level 8, which is at the bottom, all the way to level 1, right? So let's start from level 8. Giving grudgingly with a sour countenance. Giving grudgingly is certainly that's the name, that's level 8. Giving grudgingly is certainly better than not giving at all, and thus merits the eighth place, right, on the Maimonides list, but is the lowest of all forms of charity. This form of giving is ironically selfish. It is not motivated by true caring or love, but rather by a sense of guilt or obligation, right? Then level 7 is giving less than you can afford, but doing so pleasantly. The benefit of a friendly response is so powerful that it often offsets the sting of an underwhelming donation. Even if you don't feel ready to commit yourself to meeting someone else's needs to the full extent of your capacity, you can express genuine interest and empathy. A sincere expression of caring can satisfy the person emotionally and give him the strength to go on, even if you weren't able or willing to grant his request completely. Right? So that's giving less than you can afford, but doing so pleasantly. Now, level 6, giving generously, but only after being asked. While it's certainly preferable to be proactive, at least, or at the very least, don't give a cold shoulder to those who approach you for help. You can never know just how laborious and awkward it was for them to ask you for a favor, and how desperately they are counting on you to respond graciously. Our society tends to encourage us to say no to the demands of requests of others. We are made to feel like fools or wimps if we allow people to appeal to our soft nature. The Torah certainly does not advocate that we abrogate abrogate all personal boundaries and let others walk all over us. However, if we are honest with ourselves, we can always find a way to fill the other person's need or refer them to someone who else can, or who someone else who can. Now, level five, giving before you are asked. Remember, level six was what? Giving generously, but only after being asked. Level five is giving before you are asked. Learn to anticipate the needs of others even before they approach you. Don't wait for the self destructive behavior or cry for help before stepping in to lend a hand. Don't limit your involvement to those who can appeal to you. Seek out opportunities where you can make a difference. Level four now is the recipient knows the giver, but the giver does not know the recipient, right? In levels five through eight, the recipient and the giver are both known to each other. So even when the giving is done with utmost sensitivity and happiness to help, theirs is a relationship of superiority. The giver's ego is gratified and the recipient feels shame and inferiority because of his dependency. This is partly rectified in the form of charity that occupies level 4 in this list, which is the giving is done in such a way that the recipient is aware of the identity of his benefactor but remains anonymous to him. In this case, the donor feels more humble since he is not aware of whom he's giving anything to. However, the recipient's feelings are not spared to the same extent since he knows who gave him the charity. Now, level three is the giver knows the recipient, but the recipient does not know the giver. In this level, converse to level four, the donor's ego has some room to express itself since the giver knows who is receiving his bounty. There is room for some sense of one upmanship or dominance over the receiver. However, the beneficiary is unaware of who the donor is, and so his dignity is preserved, right? Now, level two, giving anonymously, where the recipient does not know the giver and vice versa. This is one of my favorite levels. Receiving anonymously takes much out of the sting of being on the receiving end. It is far better when we lend aid to others unconsciously, when we give ourselves over to others so completely that our egos merge with theirs and neither is conscious of being in the superior or inferior position. Level one is the highest level, helping someone become self sufficient. The most basic need of a human being is to feel needed and capable. Thus, the highest form is to help someone find a job or set them up in a business. This preserves their dignity and at the same time transform them from being a recipient into one of the capacities to give others. Similarly, if you are in a position to counsel or advise or give advice to someone, it's important to instill in them confidence in their own ability to find solutions to their dilemmas and even be a source of strength to others. That's it.
Yep.
Mm, that's
It's
good. And
it's 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 amazing. It's amazing. So
it's
you know when
amazing.
you have people who give like an example of level two, right? Giving anonymously is like people who donate to like schools or
Yeah.
like motherless, baby homes and stuff like that, right? The recipients don't know you, don't know the recipient. You just went there, donated, and moved on. That's like really good, right? But like level one is what Steve was trying to do with his guy that fixes generator. We were trying to set him up in a position where he's good enough, then he can now have boys in his shop and then set them up, right? And that's what we should all aspire to, that level one. But like I'll put this in the show notes, Nana will put this in the show notes so you guys can also read it. So people that give and tell everybody they give somebody, you're on like level you're on like level 8 or level 7. It's not bad, but hey man, to reach that true form is to essentially I think when you're playing on level 2 or at least level 3, right? Or maybe even level 4. I don't know. But you get my point, guys, right? It's like give and just shut the fuck up.
Yep. I got you. Got it.
All right, man.
Understood.
We want to talk about this last week. but we didn't have some time. Quick question: why is the class talking about the Super Eagles, right? Why is the class of '96 still more relevant than any of the players, footballers we have today?
Is there a class of 96 or
When I
class
mean,
of 94?
okay, so it's class
94,
of
96, the
'94,
same
but I
thing.
like to call the '96 team because they added Kanu and
2016.
Co
Okay, yeah, yeah.
into the team.
All right, true.
Yeah.
Untarrible.
Because that's the last class of the Super Eagles that really had the attention
Thank you.
um, of Nigerians, right? Because if you see what's happening, that class was what spoiled Nigerian football. Should I explain why?
Explain, because I'm
Please
writing a
explain.
book about that. So please
Because
let me know.
because they all moved abroad and Nigerians focused, the Nigerians' attention turned to what they were doing abroad, and that's why everybody discovered foreign football,
Premier League.
and that was it, Premier League,
Mm,
and that was the that was how Nigerian football died ultimately. Yep, that's so.
mm,
So in the 90s, our biggest players were playing in Nigeria, right? Even Kanu, even Okocha, when Okocha made his Super Eagles debut, it was in not Super Eagles debut. Like when Okocha came into national prominence from under 17 to under 20, he was in the Enugu Rangers before he moved abroad, right? But Nigerians really at that time were not really like super crazy about personalities. It was just about the teams, right? Senegal 92, they followed the team. But 94, Tunisia 94 really started this wave of
What are the
players
stars?
becoming strong
Yeah.
personalities, the stars.
Yekini Amokachi.
Yekini, Kano, Mokachi, Amunike,
the
Samson
magazines
Sassia.
were doing feature
90,
profiles on
thank you much. It
them.
was doing feature profile.
2005.
96 was just,
Off,
my
kickoff.
96 was like the
Oh,
ultimate, like Kano
see, bro,
came, Babayaro
that
came.
Atlanta team is the superstars in that
The
team.
Atlanta team, the
God,
superstars in that team.
fire,
So these yeah, exactly. These superstars, what happened? They all moved. They were all playing abroad, and Nigerians really wanted to like be following their every move. And that was when Nigerians started watching European
bro.
football,
Steve,
started following. And Kano now went to the Premier
Nigerians,
League,
Nigerians
Arsenal,
became Arsenal fans because of Kanu.
bro, because of
That's how
Kano,
powerful he had that pull.
because of Kano one
And Kanu
goal,
was
Nigerians
son
became
of
Arsenal
Nigeria at that
fans.
time. He was like the golden child of
We
Nigeria.
That's it. And since then, we've not been able to recover that. No set of super egos have been able to like garner that sort of attention. 2013, we won the AFCON, the African Cup of Nations.
Forgotten so fast.
Um, but we've forgotten so fast. That team also had Victor Moses, Mikel Obi. But if you ask Nigerians their favorite memory of Mikel Obi, they'll tell you about the Champions League and his Chelsea career.
Yeah.
They'll not tell you about the 2013 that he won the African Cup of Nations in South Africa with Super Eagles. If you ask the Nigerians their favorite memory of Victor Moses, they'll mention the Antonio Conte Premier League winning team
Yeah, yeah.
of 2017. Nobody will mention that he was the best player. He was one of the best two players in African Cup of Nations in 2013. You know why? Because the attention wasn't there. That's
Even
it.
Victor Osimhen now, you say
Even with
he
Osimhen
won with
now, if
Napoli.
you mention it's Napoli and
Yeah,
Champions League,
because
that people tell you. Nobody will remember a Nigerian moment. Also, I think the last point, which is not really an overwhelming, like it's not how do I put it? It's not a major point, it's a minor reason, right? Is the Nigerian team has not really had a big moment again.
yeah,
So 2013 African Cup of Nations, they played it. So see, every timing matters. Atlanta 96 was so interesting because they played this game in the night. Everybody had to watch it. Even if you're not watching it, your neighbors were shouting. You're asking yourself, why are my neighbors shouting? Do you understand? So if you miss the first match, you've missed the first match. In fact, the people, and I can argue that if 100 people watched the game against Brazil, 200 people watched the game against Argentina just because of the reaction
yeah,
of the game against
yeah,
Brazil. Do you understand what
yeah,
I'm saying? So FC, the whole country was on a chokehold. It was happening in the night,
bro.
11
They said
p.m. Everybody is at
alcohol
home.
finished in Lagos after the
Bro,
defeat. I want to defeated Brazil.
everybody is at home. No tournament has had that grip, right? No tournament has had that grip. 2013, the game final happened in the afternoon. People were still at work, like people were still going to businesses. So the attention wasn't there. The one tournament that would have done that was Russia because they were Russia 2018 because they were playing those games in the
Yeah,
evenings. And if you remember, if you were beaten Argentina and gone on to the second round of that World Cup,
bro,
it would have been bigger.
bro.
If you understand what
Facts,
was happening, you understand what
facts,
happened against
facts,
Iceland.
Yeah,
You
facts.
remember what happened that 2-0 against
bro.
Iceland?
I,
If
Bro,
we
it
are
was
a
beating
pause of
Argentina
Inzaghi, man.
or draw, thank you, or drawn Argentina I think something special would have happened in that World Cup, and maybe we would have gotten to the quarterfinal, and maybe that set would have also like become big stars. But it never happened. So timing matters. When are you playing these games? Right? Is the country watching? The whole of the country watching? Is the country in the chokehold?
Yeah.
Like, stuff
And
like that
I
matters.
don't.
Atlanta 96 was just too
Yeah.
perfect. I can't like it's like if you draw up a perfect tournament for Nigerians, you can't draw a more perfect picture than Atlanta
Yeah.
96. From the timing of the games to the players to the team to the storyline, everything
And
just
don't
aligned.
forget that you, World Cup in '94 was in America, right? And this was when
Thank
This is
you.
when Nigeria was really emerged, was really meshing itself into
Thank
American pop culture.
you. Thank
Then
you.
two
And
years
it was also
later,
at night.
yeah,
Remember, it was also at
two
night.
years later, we're now back in America
Same
again.
in America. Same in
And we now
America.
had a generation that
Bro,
was influenced by. Look at the way Kanu did it here. Look at the way Amokachi
thank you.
celebrates. Look at JJ's flair.
Also remember, it was also the calendar era. Immediately
Yeah,
they won. They were printing
yeah. Look at
calendars.
Baba
They
Yaro,
were, they were in the
fine
they were
boy in
they
Europe.
were in most of the city rooms, all the city rooms in Nigeria.
Yeah,
Now those kind of moments are no longer there. Nobody's printing calendars. Memorabilia are not do
bro.
not exist
I
anymore.
remember
Social
watching.
media is fragmented, is
Yeah,
scattered. So the attention is not really
it's not there
it's not
again.
it doesn't
No.
converge in at one spot. It's too
Yeah.
scattered.
I
So that's just it.
remember
It's
the
just
belief
simple.
Nigerians had in the 90s. We actually believed the Super
Bro.
Eagles could win the World Cup. I was watching a
Bro.
video for my research on my book where remember this event, Million March for Abacha, the 2 million march for Abacha.
Yeah,
John
98.
Fashanu,
Yeah,
JJ Okocha, and some other guys, Shegun Degbami, and some
yeah,
other Super Eagles stars were there. And John Fashanu made
yeah.
a speech that by the time we get to the World Cup, next time we come back here, we'll win the World Cup and see the way the crowd was cheering.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like,
Yeah.
only if you guys know that this is the end of the great Super Eagles they're about to witness. Like I believe after 98, 2000 was more of like a
2000
passing the
was
torch to
2000 was their
Cameroon.
last run.
Yeah, it was giving the torch to
2000 was
Cameroon.
their last run.
He was giving the torch to
Yeah,
Cameroon. That 98 team was like bye bye. It was all over at that
yeah,
point. And I'm like, it's
yeah.
crazy, man. Football in the 90s
2000
for
was his
Nigeria.
last run. Yeah,
He needs a Netflix series on his own. I beg.
bro. Yeah.
So you guys are trying to tell me now that club football doesn't stand a chance, like Victor
In
Osimhen
Nigeria.
on the biggest stage, because everybody's watching this club football, right? We all know people are
Yeah,
watching the club football.
Yeah.
yeah,
So we're saying that people on the big stage, like Victor Osimhen, Kelechi Iheanacho, these
yeah,
guys cannot be heralded as superstars, and brands will still go and meet the class of 96 to
yeah.
deliver their
Also,
brand marketing through them. Like, why aren't they
Yes.
picking all these other guys? Why haven't is it these guys haven't positioned themselves right? What is Victor Osimhen is Victor Osimhen, he's
shout
huge.
out to
So
Victor.
what's going on?
Because what Victor did this offseason, I don't think any stars done that in a while. Where you see
As
Victor
Victor
Osimhen,
Super is not the most
yeah,
popular because of what he has done, right? But Mikel is as popular as
oh Mikel is mad,
not as popular as not as popular as Okocha, but Mikel still has that thing,
yeah.
right? Because he was the biggest at that time. So I think Osimhen is going to be our next superstar.
Oh, he is.
He's already our next superstar, obviously, but we're not going to have a whole bunch of them because one, there's like they're not really big moments.
You can I interject a little bit? I also
Please
feel
do.
that the Super Eagles star, like before, like Steve said, all of them were home based players. They all grew up in Nigeria.
Yeah,
We knew them. I feel now with the Super Eagles stars, it feels like there are some guys in that team that have not spent 14 consecutive days in Nigeria since they were born.
yeah. So there's
Most of
no,
them don't even
they're
know,
not,
apart from Lagos, they don't know
they're not
anyone. They're
relatable.
not relatable. We don't know these
Yeah,
guys at the end of the day. So that's the thing that
yeah.
Nigeria doesn't even know the Super Eagles team he has. We don't know our first 11. I remember back then when
It's true.
Buffett Joe or West Half,
You can read. You
you
can.
bro,
You can. You can.
McKinney
Yeah,
was playing 9. You know that one. Finidi is 7.
yeah.
You know
Finidi is
everywhere,
7.
everybody
I'm
day.
making level.
But now we don't even
Benny Roja is 3.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
we
understand.
need a moment where and also where things align. We need a moment where everything aligns for us. I don't know how it's going to happen. This is why the World Cup is in
Things have
America.
not aligned.
Things have to align where the stars just come into the right place and the whole of Nigeria's focus and attention is on these 11 players or on this first team. And if they can win something major, I don't know what they can pull off. Even the Nations Cup, it has to be done in a very dramatic way. I don't know how that's going to be
Yeah,
done. That can bring back this whole effect. But right now, it's going to be hard. Bro, our artists have more pull than Super Eagles players, which was unthinkable,
Yes, easily.
unthinkable in the 90s. In the
20 years
90s,
ago.
name the biggest
Yeah,
artist, Daddy Shoki. Okocha will clean him out. Like the popularity alone
easily.
will
It's
clean him
true.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's also another angle. So maybe people have just moved on.
Yeah, because they don't
Yes,
get any
people have
joy.
moved
The
on.
That joy
younger,
doesn't come from Super Eagles anymore. I think also that Angola defeat really demystified that whole Super Eagles thing. Like, bro, we are not going to the World Cup. And since then, well, personally for me, after that Angola defeat, I was like, bro, I can't do this. I can't do this Super Eagles thing again.
that's why you guys should just go and pick another national team. Oranje.
I beg, I beg, I beg,
Haha.
I beg, I beg.
Oranje.
Me, I don't follow my own. I don't. Mine is
Oranje.
not even orange. I don't follow my colonizers, JJ. I one day we'll win the World Cup. When we bring we will put our Nigerian boys in 3 lions, they will win the World Cup. Simple as that.
He's coming.
It's coming home, baby.
He's coming home.
Still is supporting Canada.
Anyway,
And Canada knows how we play football. So
it's only this person they have there now.
who's that?
The right back.
They should-
It's only England. It's only England I'm supporting for.
Omo,
I'm
for
supporting my
Steve,
international
for
community.
Steve to change to England. Omo, England don't show and say Omo. Now real process.
That they play
Now
ball.
process
You
the
know
work
now.
now.
They play
Don't be
ball.
by
Yes,
grass
See,
now.
now.
I won't lie to you.
Bro, guy,
That
this under
under 20,
20.
under 21, under
Jesus
23.
Christ.
Those boys they play
Bro.
football.
Bro,
Bro.
And that's how it starts.
do you know I stumbled on something during the
You know,
World Cup? So
mhm.
there was
Yeah,
this
what
old
is
man,
it?
I think it was like an FA football executive, right? And he listed all the 3 goals that England should have achieved. Said they must reach the semi-final of the World Cup, reach the final of the Euros, and win the World Cup. The only thing they didn't get was winning the World Cup. These last 3 tournaments, they hit their
Damn.
goals. And that is scary, bro. That is scary. Look at the precision which they are going into. We would just say, bro, anything we will do, we go do. Simple as that. It doesn't work like that. You don't win the World Cup based on vibes and inshallah. It does. It's too technical. It's too technical for you to just go and just win it like that.
Shout out to them. Shout out to them. I just wanted us to
Osage,
touch on
okay,
what,
Osage, do you
yeah,
have this book? This is How to Do Great Work by Paul Graham. Graham.
how to do great work.
Steve,
Let
do you have
me
it?
check.
I don't
I'll
have
get
it.
it for you. Don't worry.
That's what I'm
I'll get
asking.
it for you. Don't worry.
Thank
Just
you.
send the
Yeah.
send me the title.
Okay,
Then
Uh,
thank you.
Ayo, hook me up
don't
now.
worry. Bro, we did that. Just give me the title. If it can be found online, don't worry. We'll get it.
Ever since, do you know that Z library that you could get every book from? Do
Bro,
you know how they shut them down?
you say on. Don't worry.
There was one.
I won't allow you. Well,
Okay,
DSS,
We don't encourage
CIA,
piracy in
CIA.
this
If they listen,
podcast.
so we'll go talk am for later. In the encrypted zone where we did.
Please, I want to read that book this new week
No
that we're
verse, no
entering.
verse. You go read down. Don't worry.
All right. I'll send it to you.
All right, cool.
Check the group. Thank you.
all right, cool
Thank you
stuff,
for the
cool stuff.
tips. Thank you for the for the tips this week, Ayo, too. Really,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
really
yeah, no
Yeah, that
problem. Just give my ten
is
percent, please.
that's lead.
10%.
That's true lead researcher character now.
See, now they find my trouble. Now they find my trouble for this podcast.
That's true lead researcher.
That guy
You've
will
done
talk
over
how
two
you
hours.
dey. Like,
You've done over 2 hours.
yeah, 2 hours
You've done
plus.
Nah,
over
man,
two
we
hours.
don't
We don't
try.
try.
We
We don't
don't
try
We
try.
don't
We
for
try
don't
our
for
try.
that.
free content.
We don't
Good
try
stuff,
for that.
guys. See you guys. See you guys
And
next
it's free, so you people are the data.
Yeah,
I'll be out the data.
yeah, the data. Yeah, the one that you are selling.
Anyways, thank you guys so much
uh,
for listening and rocking with us again on
yep,
another
yep.
episode of your favorite podcast.
Yeah,
Guys, guys, we've given you
Love
two
yourselves.
hours. First of all, love yourselves. Number two,
Yeah.
we've given you 2 hours of free stuff, right? And we're not using your data. So we need you guys to do something for us. We need you to rate and review this podcast. You're
Yeah.
listening on Apple Podcast. Go to the rate and review section, rate it 5/5, and drop a review. Put it there, right?
Thank you.
Put it there. The second thing I need you guys to do, and what I've noticed from the giants that listen to this podcast, you people hoard this podcast. I follow a number of you people on social media, and those who I don't follow, I go to your, I know, and you people don't tweet about this podcast. Don't put it up on
That's
your
true. I'll go
IG
and
stories,
disturb all the
nothing.
giants on my IG.
It's crazy. They will just come and say, "Oh, this episode was great," blah blah blah. No, share it. Put the link there. Come on, guys. Retweet the handles. Do something. We need more people. You can't just be hoarding good stuff like this now. It's very unfair now. Come on.
yeah.
Come on. You know, so please, if you want your lead researchers to come back every week, both of them, the true one and the fake one. If you want them to come back every week
And
to come and
sorry, I'm an intern. I'm an intern. Sorry.
you know and all that, you guys need to show love. And I know show love, oh, and I know show love.
Oh, no.
I'm not gonna show love. All right, man. Catch you guys on another episode.
Peace out, bro.
Bye.
Peace.
All right.